We are live. What's going on, everyone? Let's see. All right. What's going on there, John? Make sure we got audio working
Doing
here.
well, Chris.
All right,
Excellent.
good.
Awesome to be on your channel again. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, no problem.
And hello to everybody in the chat.
Yeah.
The usual suspects are all there.
Oh, yeah. Usual criminals. No, they're all good people. That's what I love about them. So what's going on, everyone? Let me make sure. Let me turn on the receiving audio here, see what we got. Okay, we are good. Audio sounds good on this end. We are live on channel 4. Please do not swear. Well, let's not do that. Yeah, that's not good. What's going on, everyone? Good to see everybody in there. You're seeing it over there, Jean. How's it look to you as far as face-wise? Everything's good as far as size-wise, everything?
Yeah, everything looks fine this side. Elaine says bad echo.
Really?
I did mute my video now. I hope it's better.
Well, let's see. Let's see when I talk here.
Okay. I hope it's better, guys.
No, it sounded fine on my end. We were both just talking. So, should be good. Let me make sure audio is good here. Jean, you're up at the same level, so you're not too low here.
Okay, Josh says the audio is good.
Yeah, it should be pretty darn good right there. All right.
Thanks, Noodles. He also says it's fine. And echo is gone now, Elaine says. Great. Thank you, guys. And ghouls.
Guys and ghouls. Friday night.
Girls, gals.
Yes, that too.
It's got nothing to do with Halloween, right?
That's good. We've been implying that the women are scary here, and that's not very nice. Renee's in there. Oh, yeah, we got everybody in there. Noodles is in there. Good evening to you, Noodles. Jay's in there. Architect Net is good. He's in there. What's happening? Oh, he said caught out tonight because the clocks went back last week. See, you guys do that first, and then we do it after, so, yeah.
When is Halloween, by the way?
Tomorrow for us.
Oh, okay.
As you can see, I got my mask on already. Scare the hell out of everybody. Glenn Judd's in there. Mike Knapp's in there. Mimi Reacts. What's going on there, Mimi? David Clark's in there. Oh, Tony Gibbs is in there. Elaine Walls is in there. Man, they're all up in there. X15, what's happening? Good to hear you. Or see you in there. Let's see. David's in there.
Thanks, David. He says he likes my background.
Oh, yeah. See, I could do the same thing. I should probably put mine up there. Start doing that, too.
I actually had to install an older version of Skype to get it to work on my computer.
Mm-hmm.
Because the newer Skype doesn't work on my old, dilapidated, paraffin diesel computer.
my very dated computer.
It is.
But it works, though. That's the point, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I used to get it to work with the other computer I had. That thing was so old. I think it was like a dual core, for crying out loud. Talk about a dinosaur. And this thing was like, I don't think I had more than 6 gigs of RAM. It was, and like I said, it's a dual core, very slow at that. So if you can get that to work, you can definitely get anything to work.
Oh, yeah. 2006 model running this side, Chris.
Oh, yeah. It's working. Let's see. John Beck's in there. What's going on, John? Mags K, what's going on, Mags? Good to see you in there. Renee, like I said, Renee Vaughn's in there. Stephen Porter. Leslie Warren. Let's see.
Oh, that's better.
Oh. Let's see. Okay. I think I got everybody in there. Might have Joss D's in there. What's going on, Joss? Bobby Pentland, what's going on, Bobby? David Clark. Good evening to you there. Alex VG. His name is Jean, even though it looks like Gene. I think I made a mistake the first time I talked to him. He says, no, that's Jean. I was like, okay. So, yeah.
Gene works as well.
Let me see. Whoop. Just been listening to Dark Side of the Moon. Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah, I think we're good. So what's going on, everyone? Oh, man. I was just telling Jean that usually I come home after working and I'll take like a little nap and then, get up and start rocking and rolling, either making videos or Fridays getting ready for the Hangout, and I didn't do that. So I'm not tired, but just maybe a little fatigued. We'll just use that. We'll go with that, right? Yeah. So how is everybody else doing? It's going to be like chilly as shit tonight. It's going to be like chilly. And according to my weather station, it's going to be like, what does it say, 36 degrees. So, yeah, it's going to be a little chilly tonight. And, of course, that's Fahrenheit. Let me see. Let's see. I got a couple questions and comments coming in there. Thank you, Elaine Walls. Much appreciated. Much love to you. You said, let's get this party started. Oh, yeah. Let's rock it and roll it. Blue Flash was saying aliens are real. And I don't know if I'd probably use the term other civilizations, because I don't know what it is. And I've said this before. It seems like when people say aliens, you think these little grays with like these almond-shaped eyes. And I don't think that's the case. I don't think they're all like that. I think they're more like, can be a lot like you and I, with some variances, of course. But I think they're a lot like us. What do you think, John?
Oh, yes, Chris. They do say they're living among us already. And, I don't know. We might have met a couple, who knows? I don't know if I was married to one or two. Obviously, those didn't work out.
Yeah.
They're alien and I'm human, so I don't know. No, that's just a joke. It's just a joke. Just didn't work. Oh, by the way, it's about 26 degrees Celsius. Yeah, Chris.
That's still pretty warm. That's pretty comfortable for you, right?
It is warm. Open the window and mosquitoes are coming in, so if you see me
swatting at yourself,
mosquitoes.
Hey, listen, they got to eat too, so.
David says, water on the moon.
Yeah, I mean, somebody was saying, Mimi says, or question was, Chris, your opinion about the newest moon news. Well, they're saying they're finding more water in Clavius crater, and they're saying that, of course, it's in the southern hemisphere. But honestly, there's moisture all over the moon. I mean, the funny part about it is, you guys catch that part where it says, in the more sunny parts of the moon. Well, wait a minute. Doesn't every part of the moon get the sun? Think about this a minute. Just because it may be lit on our side at night, and it's dark on the other side, doesn't mean it doesn't get light at some point, because it does actually get the sun on it too. So wouldn't that mean there's water on every part of the moon pretty much? Maybe I'm mistaken. I don't know. It just makes sense. But, they're saying that it could be used for fuel, obviously. And, obviously, I don't know if they'd be able to use it for drinking water. I would imagine they would have to check it for any kind of microbial life that could kill them. But as far as fuel-wise, they can definitely use it for that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I believe it's 100 or 400 parts per million.
Yeah. So was it that, or was it?
Some water there.
Yeah.
Not like in the craters.
No.
In the craters, you'll get the water ice.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting that it's on the side facing the Earth.
Oh, absolutely. Well,
and, it's in direct sunlight. Very interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, the same thing would apply to the backside of the moon as well, because it gets sun as well. So wouldn't it be water there too?
Oh, yes.
And funny enough, they're saying now that, and we've talked about this before, where now they're saying the atmosphere, or at least the outer atmosphere, extends out past the moon. So you could have microbial life living on the moon that's from here. You could have, they said even a little bit of oxygen can escape to the moon. And it can be somewhat protected from, maybe some radiation. Not all, of course, because it'd be very weak at that point. But still pretty interesting. I think it's, the more they come out with it, and then you start putting these little puzzle pieces together going, you know what I mean? And if you believe there may be still life on the moon, maybe they can still breathe very minute oxygen. Who the heck knows, for all we know, right? I mean, just like on Mars, they say, oh, it's incredibly cold. No, it's not. And the moon, if you think about it, we were just talking about this before we even came on the air. We actually got on earlier, Jean and I, just to make sure everything was working well. And it was funny because we were talking about the moon. I said, well, it's got to get incredibly hot on the moon because there's nothing to filter out. There's no atmosphere per se. So it must get pretty hot when it warms that part of the moon. And, of course, the second it turns, it's going to get cold. There's nothing to hold it in. There's no kind of a blanket effect to hold the heat in. So it instantly turned cold. But what about during the days in direct sunlight? I mean, it has to get pretty darn warm on that moon. So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting, I think.
Your last photograph with the structures on the moon, that was very, very intriguing, Chris. And if I can, may I tell your subs, there's an amazing video coming up from you soon.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'll just break it down for you guys because I gave
the same photograph.
Yeah, I gave Jean a sneak peek of what I'm about to show you guys because
that's incredible.
Yeah, because I was actually looking when I was editing photos of editing for the video, and I was going, okay, here's all the stuff, I'm getting it done, and as I'm watching this finished product, I'm going, oh my God, I can't believe I missed that. Wow, that's insane. And again, it's got to do with the super bright areas, the super dark areas. And then when you start to see these things, all of a sudden it come out and it slapped me in the face. And I said, and I even asked Jean, I said, here's the, I shared the screen with him and I showed it to him. I said, do you see anything out of the ordinary? And he's looking, I'm not really seeing it, other than the things I showed in the video. And he's looking, I said, what about this? I said, what about this dark area right here? He's like, I don't see it. I don't know what you're talking about. I said, I clicked on this thing. What is that? I said, exactly. Oh my God, this thing is insane. If you guys thought the last couple of videos, and I even said this in my last video, if you think the prior video had a lot of structures, wait until you see this one. Well, wait until you see this because this is like a second part to the video, and it literally, you can't unsee it again. It's that insane. And how big would you say that thing is, Jean? Those things, I should say.
I don't know. 800 meters tall by probably 400 meters wide. That's just the one, that long one.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give it away, but it's big. It's massive.
I mean, it's, when you, like I said, when I showed the small structures on the left-hand side of that crater, now the crater is supposed to be 40 miles in width, or at least, definitely wide, and you go, okay, so you're just trying to eyeball the thing, you go, that's 40 miles, how big is the base of this other structures? Hell, they got to be 10 miles wide. They've got to be, but it's what is it, Sergeant Carl Wolf, who said these structures that are on the moon are insanely large. They're like megalithic structures. They're huge. And this kind of, it's consistent with what he's saying. And again, these photos are on the backside of the moon. Kyle Harvey, good to see you in there, man. I appreciate your support. Much love to you, man. You said freezing on the dark side, hot on the sun side. Well, yeah, I mean, depending on when it's turning, right? So, yeah. Well, not turning, but you get the idea. It's the backside will face the sun, so it'll definitely get warm. But, yeah, I mean, wait till you guys see this. This literally will blow your mind because it's probably clearer than anything there that I showed you guys. Oh, my God. When I seen it, I was just like, I'm just curious. What is this thing? After I enhanced it, I was like blown away myself.
Chris, in my book, I'd say that's 1 out of 10 of the top.
Oh, yeah.
Anomalies I've seen. It's definitely up there. And it should feature in the news somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
and
my
if you
God.
can get that like you might be able to, that'll be cool.
Yeah.
People need to see it.
Oh, yeah.
I'll leave that over to you. When are you doing that video?
Yeah, I probably should get that out as soon as I can. But yeah, this is something I'd love to see in these sites that like the UK and stuff like that where this kind of thing needs to come out because I've never seen anything like it until I looked at this, and it's probably the most. At first, it's the most abstract thing you can see. It's like really nothing there, and then all of a sudden when you enhance this thing, it's like so pronounced that you're like really blown away by it. You know what I mean?
It did. Blew me away. Let's see what else the guys are chatting about. Yeah, there's a lot going on there, Chris.
Oh, yeah. Medical cannabis. Hello from Scotland. What's going on? What's going on there, MC? Stephen Porter says, hey, Chris, do you think the USA has a continuous satellite imagery of backside of the moon? Well, they may not have continuous, but they do have the LROC still, orbiting and it's constantly mapping and everything else. So you can imagine if it does this, it already mapped the moon back in the day. Now, the last video I did showed you guys that was posted in 1970, but I believe these come from like 1966. Regardless, right? This goes way back. This is 66 to 70. Let's call it 70 for argument's sake. To me, that's just crazy because these are like, you can see that they're absolutely airbrushed, manipulated in some form back in the day, even as crude as it may have been. But when you see the things, like I said, they highly contrast and everything's real dark. So you kind of like trying to get this balance, and it's tough to do that. But when you do bring this stuff up, you see all them little structures and everything else. And I was telling Jean, I said, I want you to picture the size of the thing I'm going to do in the next video, the two things. It's kind of like any one of you guys being out with a camping tent. You got a sleeping, bag with your tent and everything else, and compare it to the Eiffel Tower. That's how much larger they are to any of those structures we've seen. I showed you on there. Huge. Unreal.
True. Chris, it would be great if you could find a really high-res or higher-res photograph that the LRO photographed of that specific site.
Right.
It would be really awesome to see if you can't extract more detail.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool to be able to do that.
And what's nice about the LRO app is that you can select an area and then it will do an elevation profile for you. So you can actually see how tall that item is.
Yeah.
And that will give you an idea of its scale.
Yeah.
It's a really awesome tool that they've implemented for the LRO. I just wish they'd do that for the MRO.
You know what would be interesting? How tall do you think that thing is? Because it's actually taller than it is wide. That thing is huge.
A kilometer, 2?
Oh God, yeah. I'm telling you, this thing. I'm not lying. I'll be surprised if it's not 15 miles high, which is really weird to say. But this thing is huge. If you were to take it and just lay it down into like the size of that 40-foot crater, oh my God, that thing is huge.
Maybe we can get together sometime over the weekend or during the week and see if we can't suss this thing out. See if we can find that photograph.
Yeah, I think we need to.
And then see if we can do an elevation profile on it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Google Earth Mars does allow you to do elevation profiles of sections that you select.
Right.
But you're talking about kilometer resolution. You're not talking about meter resolution. Right. The LRI photographs, the newer ones, is a meter resolution.
Right.
On the profiles of the elevation. So
yeah, I don't think it would work very well.
And you'll be able to see from the graph.
Yeah.
The rectangular shape of those anomalies. I'm not going to say anything more than that.
I mean, you kind of like want to let the cat out of the bag so bad because this thing, when I see it, I said, I got to make a video like instantly, and I never did get to it. But this is one of those things, and even Claire Mead had said, she said, I'm in the UK, so I will make sure to share it. What was that site that a lot of people, you said it earlier, even Joe does?
Express.co.uk, isn't it?
Yeah, the Express page, yeah. And a lot of people put a lot of that stuff on there. But this stuff is like blowing you away kind of stuff. It's like better than anything they've ever had on there as far as I'm concerned. Because I've seen some really kind of touch and go kind of things that look okay. Maybe it's that. But when you see this, it's like it's right there in your face. And after you get back out of the, in other words, you take off the enhancement, it's like you can't unsee it. It's just there all the time now. At first you're like, man, what is that? And I'll tell you what got me going was that it was the shape of the thing that got me started because I was going, what the heck is that? I said, I'm just curious. Let me go ahead and lighten that up because, it just doesn't look right. And I lightened it up. I was like, wow. I said, holy shit, that's good.
it's really dark in shadows and things. You
Oh
really
God,
have to
yeah.
bring up the detail a bit. But it's undeniable. People
Oh
will see for themselves.
yeah. There's just no way around it. What's going on there, Bush Corey? Good to see you in there. Leslie Warren, I think
So
I said hello to you.
what are we gonna look at first, Chris?
I don't know. Let's see. You think they would know? Oh, Kyle says, man, it's 20, well, it's got to be 2021. Yeah, you think they would know what's on the backside of the moon or not? Of course they do. Yeah, of course. They've known this since they put the LRO up there. And keep in mind, guys, the LRO is what? It's only 75 feet, 75 miles rather, off the surface of the moon. So you know this thing's like, it's seeing some serious detail here. Serious detail.
Mimi reacts.
I've seen
Stop
that.
teasing us.
I'm sorry, Mimi. I don't mean to do that. I'm sorry. But I'll tell you what, it'll be well worth the wait when you see it. Well worth the wait.
I think you should try and get it out after the live stream.
Don't get them fired up. But yeah, it'll definitely be worth it.
What else are we looking at? Tony Gibb says, okay, the tease is working.
But I mean, like, you know how like you sometimes you pump things up, like, you know, because you want people to watch the next video. That's not what I'm doing at all. I'm doing it because of the anomalies in it. It's almost like they're I don't know how to explain it. It's well worth it. Like, you can say, man, I see a lot of things in that. It's a crazy photo, man. It's cool. It's cool. But when you see these, it's like it makes them look kind of sick. I think you'd agree on that. It literally makes them look sick. I mean, it's cool. They're great. I love them. They're on the moon. We know there's a civilization. Or something. One of you guys posted, you said something about, Chris, wouldn't it be really odd or weird if we found out that was actually us way back in the day? Woo! The plot thickens. You know, we had said that, like Billy and I, when we were on, we were saying that we're in like the fifth cycle of our Earth, basically, and all of this catastrophic events happen along the way. Now, let's suppose in between each of these catastrophic events is thousands of years. Well, even if we were technologically advanced back in the day, thousands of years ago, that tech wouldn't be around. It'd be gone. Because then people would have to start all over again, like basically being in caveman time, so to speak, in the Dark Ages. So you'd have to start all over again. And probably what they had would not last. Let's say you still had something happen to the planet today. And we all, you know, it pretty much wasted half the planet, or there's only 10% of the population left. Well, that's all well and fine, but can you still run it? Is there electricity? Can you keep it going to the point where it doesn't break down and rots into the ground, and now you're talking thousands of years of this, so it's gone. So it has to start all over again, right? It makes sense.
And we're not talking agenda at 2020 or 2030, you know.
No.
It's a hypothetical thing. Yeah, no, I think there was a major catastrophe in the solar system. And I speculate 12,000 years ago, roughly, it hit Earth and Mars. And possibly the planet, well, there was a planet, Mars was orbiting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what the hell happened? Was it a war of sorts, or was it just, I don't know, our position in the solar system at that time? Was it a flare or something? I don't know, but they left.
Yeah.
The builders, call them the builders. And whatever was left of humanity inherited the structures.
Yeah.
So I don't think, Chris, to be honest with you, I could be totally wrong, but I speculate humankind didn't build these massive structures alone.
Yeah.
Or possibly we didn't build them at all.
Yeah.
Maybe we just inherited them. But I'm just speculating. It's my opinion. I don't know. I could be wrong. But you can see in South America and in Turkey, I think. No, in Lebanon.
Yeah.
You've got the big megaliths, the big blocks.
And Baalbek, yeah.
And then smaller blocks on top.
Yep.
And those are the ones that I believe us as humans put on top of these larger, massive big blocks.
Yep.
So
it was a feat of engineering back then, that's for sure. That's for sure. Let me see. Noodles, you were replying to Kyle. He says 6,500 years ago was the Bronze Age, correct? So they say. Well, like I said, now they're finding out we're like 500,000 years old as far as intelligent man. We've been on here. I think it goes back further than that. I don't think we truly know. Like I said, I mean, it's like we're just learning our past. And of course, some of them already know the past, but we're just learning our past. Now that we're going out in space, we want to be spacefaring. And we're seeing things on our moon and on Mars and every other planet. Now they're talking about Titan. It's like a lot like Earth. It's got 3 times the atmosphere, I believe, of Earth. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. And it's got lakes. It's got this, that, and the other. It's got it all. It's just like Earth, only, there is some variances, of course. And there's some differences. But this is the reason why they want to send that Dragonfly drone to Titan, because they really want to check this thing out. It's going to take samples, of course. It's going to fly to different areas and take more samples. So I think it's going to be interesting. These coming years are going to be very, very interesting. Of course, they said, 2034 for the Dragonfly. That sucks. I wish it was a lot sooner than that. But regardless, there's some exciting things coming on the horizon, man. I think it's going to be really, really cool.
And OSIRIS-REx successfully scooped some of the asteroid as well. So
now, didn't they say it got too much of a sample? It said something about it collected too much, but it's already sealed up, it's closed up, it's ready for its trip back to Earth. Now, I wonder, what do you think they're going to do? They would have to bring this thing back. I'm sure there might be some slight fears that it could bring some kind of microbial something or other back that can maybe infect the Earth. I mean, what do you think about that? There's got to be some kind of protocol that they're using and putting in its place.
Yes, just like the astronauts when they returned from the moon, they were placed in quarantine.
Yep.
For a couple of days. I think these samples will also be placed in strict quarantine, or it will be enclosed, So, I don't know. Let's see what they find in these materials. It will be really interesting.
Well, I know they said that they found organics. They found organics on there, so necessarily it doesn't mean that. I think it was carbon and hydrogen, right? And I think there was a combination of that. So it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen once that thing does actually, bring back the sample and see what they're going to do with that.
Okay, so what I wanted, hang on, I just read something here about
Mimi, can't wait for another virus.
Our ancient history and the Vedas.
Okay.
Old books that talk of...
I'm talking about Jaws D, right?
Very interesting, yeah.
And John Ward, we for sure had civilization before our history that is proven. Thing read Vedas like Rig Veda. I'm not sure what that one is, but in other old books that tell of this. Well, yeah,
I think Billy also spoke of them, eh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Mahabharata from India, different Sanskrits, different writings from around the world, all talk of, civilizations way back. And keep in mind, some of these things go way back. They're not just like, several thousands of years ago. These things go way back, which I find really interesting. And a lot of people don't realize it, but you got ancient history goes with what we got today, meaning our planets. Because a lot of these ancient people talk about wars on Mars, wars on the moon, wars here on Earth with great cities in the sky firing upon themselves with weapons brighter than the sun, and so on and so forth. And now I find it hard to believe, although I guess it's not impossible, that they had like sci-fi writers back in the day. But what would influence them? I mean, they could say, well, yeah, I mean, maybe there's men like us out there, and maybe they dreamt it up. I mean, I don't know. But to me, it just seems like, they found it imperative to write or draw anything that they've seen. And that's the only way they can convey it, is that to, either put it in Sanskrit, edge it in stone, draw it, hieroglyph it, call it what you like, right? But
that's right. And not just that. I mean, the South Americans, I think it was the Mayans, actually sculpted that one being is sitting on his...
Right, like he's in a craft.
Yep. And there's something connected to his nose, his feet are on pedals, and he's doing something with his hands, and he's wearing a strange helmet.
Yeah,
Um,
that was Lord Pakal. Supposedly, they
yeah.
said, well, I don't know if he said something about going on a journey, but clearly that looks like, you can see what looks like flames coming out of the bottom of it. It looks like he's controlling something with his feet and his hands. This, to me, looks like a spacecraft, and that's the best way they can convey it.
And how about those big discs that they found in Russia?
Yeah. Yep.
Some of them are 5 meters in diameter, and they were way down. I mean, 20 meters down.
Yep.
How much is that? About 40 feet, 33 feet
Somewhere on there.
down.
Yeah.
At a building site, they found these things. Some of the discs are small. They're like this big.
Yeah.
And then the others are like 5 meters in diameter, and they're perfectly symmetrical. They look like craft.
Yeah. Exactly.
Not that they are, but they are sculpted pieces. What did they base that on? Why did they make those?
Yeah, it's not like they had sci-fi TV, like they can go, hey, wow, I just got my inspiration from that particular video or that movie or whatever, documentary, whatever. So clearly they've seen something that compelled them to do that.
The smaller discs have got domes on them in their centers. And it's not like they were millstones or what do you call those things that you graining. It's not that.
Yeah.
It's not like dishes. These are dome saucer-shaped objects.
I've seen those. Those are neat. And yeah, like you said, and they got some detail on them things, too. They look like they had windows on them, I think. The way they were designed. Some of them would look like they had these weird designs in them or something like that. Really weird. Elaine Millard, you said the fact that the man bags that many carried and got depicted all over the world, different ancient cultures, and watch like looking devices on wrist. Yeah, and you're right about it. They had that weird kind of carry bag, and it did look like they had a watch of some sort or some kind of something on their wrist. So absolutely.
I hope I'm not going to get ridiculed now. I'm taking a smoke break.
Uh-oh.
Third Eye Open says there's one in Japan as well. Yeah, there's lots of similarities between the different cultures.
Yeah.
On the world.
Yeah, and these guys could be. Yeah,
pyramids.
Go ahead.
Yeah, even in South Africa.
True.
We've got pyramids in Mauritius.
Yep.
It's an island about, 2 hours flight from South Africa. And they've got pyramids there too.
Oh, yeah. Well, they say there's pyramids all over the equatorial region of Earth. So, and of course, many people speculate, who are into ancient, like the pyramids and stuff like that. One, they were kind of a power source. Two, they believe that they were like linked together, like either to transmit the power source or communication. Now, the first thing you think of is, how can that possibly be? It's just nothing more than stone. But it's what was housed in the stone that makes all the difference, so, yeah.
Crystal.
Yeah.
A lot of these pyramids or obelisks are built with a crystalline type of material, which actually can conduct electricity at certain frequencies.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. And it reminds me of what Tesla was trying to do with that funny tower.
Yeah.
That he had, where was it? Long Island, Rhode Island.
I'm trying to remember exactly, where that was at. I think it was.
Yeah, and he was trying to demonstrate how he could transmit electricity wirelessly. And then he moved his laboratory more inland. And the people living in that town, I can't remember where it was exactly now, but they used to complain that when they touched their taps or got close to their taps, that they'd get shocked, that there'd be a spark.
Right.
And when they walked, there used to be a spark from their feet onto the ground.
Yeah.
That's how much he was charging up that area. And I really wonder what he was doing.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, he had, the way that tower was designed, it literally had like ground rods that went out in all different directions into the ground. And plus you had so I guess one was the negative, one was the positive, one was the ground, one's so and then you're basically shooting electricity all over. That's why I didn't think it would be feasible, as far as like you said, they were like literally getting electrocuted. Can you imagine how much power the thing's putting out? And the closer you lived in a tower, you could literally get killed just by going to get a drink of water. So,
Do you know what fascinates me is you've got the law of squares when it comes to radio frequency.
yeah,
So the further you go, the less the power becomes. But I mean, it's like at the rate of squares. So
yeah.
it deteriorates rapidly. So what was he doing that would create such an energy field that he would be able to transmit electricity around the world?
Well, that's what they speculate. That's what they speculate these pyramids did. They were actually, some of them said that one of the pyramids would actually, of course, this is really sci-fi and far-fetched to me, but said that they would literally transmit like power up to like spacecraft above it. And I'm thinking, well, I don't know, it's a bit far-fetched for me. But, regardless, we don't know. And if they've taken and extracted all of the things out of these pyramids to begin with, you'll never know. You'll actually never know what was really in there. Just because it was stone doesn't mean there was no technology in it. So, yeah.
And that they reckon the chambers and the passageways in the pyramids are built in such a way that they resonate.
Yeah.
At a certain frequency as well. So it could be that they were directional as well, out those shafts.
Yeah.
The power could have emitted out of those paths, the tunnels or the shafts, like a waveguide.
Yeah. Yep.
Microwave energy is transmitted through a waveguide.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. I don't know. It's fascinating. I wish that we rediscover Tesla's technology when it comes to that.
Yeah.
I don't know how he overcame that law of squares, where the energy just rapidly decreases.
Well, it's kind of like a radio signal. Some radio signals travel further, like AM, especially at night. You get it can travel thousands of miles. Like I can listen to my hometown, one of the hometown news channels from here, which is like 750 miles away from here, and listen to it at night when the atmosphere is just right. It just opens right up. Now FM won't do that because of the frequency modulation. The waves are so close.
Maybe he figured out a way of making it a narrow band signal and not a broadband signal.
Right, could be.
So they could put more power and energy into a narrow band. Maybe that's how he did it.
Maybe
we'll never know.
Maybe it would cause it to actually travel further. So to me, it would have to be amplitude modulation because it seems like it would travel more. Maybe that's what it did. And this is the reason why people were getting freaking electrocuted. But I don't know. Yeah. It's really weird, man. The guy was a genius. Now, I'm sure he had his flaws where he didn't have it quite perfected. But isn't that what scientists do? You make mistakes. You start over. You just try again until you get what you want and the desired finished product, so to speak. So, yeah.
I know that long wave and AM, they call it ground waves.
Yes.
Whereas if you're looking at high frequency or HF, short wave, it actually bounces off the ionosphere back to Earth, back to the ionosphere. But those very low frequencies actually are ground wave.
Right. They just travel on the ground itself.
It was there.
Yeah.
Really low frequency. I saw something very interesting. The Doomsday plane. I don't know if you've seen videos about it. They did a tour of the Doomsday plane, and out the back, they extend a wire antenna for 5 miles. It's incredible. The submarines do that too, right?
Yep.
They've also got these extremely long antennas, which says to me these guys are operating on very, very low frequency as well. Penetrates water. It's amazing.
Yep.
Really amazing. But anyway, what are we going to talk about, Chris? What are we featuring tonight?
Let's see. Oh, Kyle, you seen that, huh? Chris has a Subway Super Cup. Eat fresh. Let's see. Now, Jean has given me some photos we can look at that he had. And if you want, you can feature whatever one you want first. We'll just go through it until we figure out which one it was. But let me see what we got here. Which one would you like to look at first? Because I think we have 4 or 5 pages put up there. So, how about the one? I'll tell you which one I thought was interesting. How about the light one? It looked like it was a. All right, let's jump on this one here. This one here is a really, really kind of odd. Now, this is just to show you guys real quick. This is NASA when it showed the OSIRIS-REx. Spacecraft samples of rocks and dust from asteroid Bennu is safe for return to Earth. So, yeah, worked around the clock to successfully stow the sample. So, yeah, we can't wait to see that. Of course, we have to wait to see how long that takes to get here. Yeah, but let me see. Let me get my log out of there real quick.
Noodles is also asking, why don't we examine the discs that I found? I'll drop an interesting link in the chat.
I got to try it. All right. Here's this one right here. This is the one that, Jean, you brought up earlier, and you gave me the link to this. I find it really interesting. Now, this is on, this is just a picture here. You can see it here. It is basically a strip from a satellite strip. But check this thing out. What do you guys suppose this is? Now, to me, I don't care what anybody says. This is a light. You can clearly see how bright it is here and how it goes off in different directions. Like it's shooting, like almost like a giant headlight or a spotlight. That, to me, is crazy.
Yeah, show them what was there before that. That's what intrigues me the most.
Now, which one are you talking about?
That has replaced a strange craft that was lying there. That strange square craft.
Okay. Let me see something else. See, that's
the link that I sent you to my blog.
Okay. Well, I got it right here.
Shows you what was there.
Well, we have the triangular. Is that the one you're talking about? Okay. So we can go up the page here. And this is it right here. And you can look at it right here. It says, Steve Wingate, a NASA image specialist, discovered the craft. He tried to make his finding public. However, the image mysteriously disappeared from the website several times. And, of course, there's a link to it. And, guys, you guys know any links that we use here on the chat you'll get after it is posted. If it's too late, then it's the next day. But either way, you'll have them. NASA, in the meantime, seems to have replaced this particular image on its website as well. Anyway, looking at the original crash site, we see that the craft, i.e. UFO, which is approximately 190 meters or 600 feet wide, impacted the surface at a low angle, ending up half buried in the Martian surface, or soil rather. So as we scroll down, this is basically a depiction of it, or a drawing of it, and it does look a lot like that, what we're seeing there. Okay, but what I find interesting is what this thing really is showing here. And you've got the image right here, and you've got the actual identification number to the image. He said currently on NASA's website, on the other hand, does not resemble the original image at all. What is seen is a very buried object emitting what appears to be a beam of very bright light onto the Martian surface. Now, to me, that looks like it is. It's like a giant beam. What do you guys think of that?
It's incredible.
Yeah, that to me is interesting. I see, like I said, it's kind of like the Enceladus moon when they try to claim it's like these jets coming out, these icy jets coming out of the moon, and they said, well, what you're seeing is it's not light; it's actually the sun reflecting off the icy particles. Well, that's all well and good, but there's photos where it's literally it's the South Pole for starters, but those jets are nowhere near the sunlight at the time. In fact, the sun's more on the northeast part of it, and these things are totally in total darkness on the south side of it, and yet they're putting out a beam of light that looks like that. No way is that water plumes or icy plumes. I don't buy that, and I don't buy this. So what do they claim? Did they say this is... what do they claim about this? What are they saying, though, John?
Oh, no, they don't talk about that bright spot at all.
Huh, imagine that.
They talk about, like they normally do, they talk about the geology.
Ah. Okay.
I can't remember the description of this photograph, but that bright spot isn't mentioned anywhere in the description.
Now, what do you think? That absolutely looks like a high beam light or something like that. Some kind of really bright spotlight.
Yeah,
What do you guys think of that?
I wonder if that wasn't the recovery party that lit up that area to remove the disc. I don't know.
Nothing would surprise me though. Oh my God, that's crazy.
I don't know.
That to me speaks volumes. That's clearly a light. I don't know what else I could say it is, because you can clearly see the lights projecting outward in kind of a fan fashion. You can see that.
And you know what's fascinating, Chris? I found another object that looks exactly like the one on the first photograph on this page. So I'll go down a bit in this page. Let's see if I don't show it there.
All right, you got the two videos. Okay, let's see what else comes down. I think it's just the end. It goes down to the videos, right?
Let's see. Okay, there's lag on my side.
Yeah, you'll see it because you're seeing what everybody else is seeing. So all you got is the two videos underneath this.
Does it show an object that looks similar? Yes, there it is. The first video.
All right, it's gonna. I scroll down, then I just go right back up.
You see that object?
Yeah.
It's very similar on the top.
Yeah.
If you look at the patterns or the ridge lines on top of it.
Yeah, I see that.
And it's also got long, narrow, square parts with a raised area in the center. It looks a lot like that thing that crashed there as well. It's weird. And it's not close to, that site's not close to, the two sites are very far apart. The ones in the southern hemisphere, the other one's in the northern hemisphere, if I can recall correctly.
What is this other thing here? Somebody says, trying to remember where this thing was at. That was pretty interesting. They had what looked like some weird craft. I'm trying to remember if it was down here. Yeah, this picture right here, you'll get it in a little bit. But flipping through these tabs, trying to find the right one here. But they were talking about this one here, how it has NASA discovered experiment remains in surface crater. Now, when you see this, of course, the picture's real, the inset picture's real, but the actual craft obviously is an animation or whatever. But if you look at this thing closely, there's no way that that's natural. You can see something sticking right out of the middle of this. It almost looks like, like blocks, but when you look at the very center, it looks like there's some kind of weird arm or something coming out of the center and coming upward. You'll see that now. I'm going to zoom in on it, like everybody else is seeing. Check that thing out. What do you think of that?
Oh, yeah. Wow, that's incredible. Chris, Bobby, let's see, Bobby Pentland asks if it could be sunlight that's reflecting off an object. That thing there on Mars, it could be.
Well,
I don't know.
It could be, but it looks like it's weird how they do this. You notice how it looks like an impact. Okay, now is it an impact meaning it slammed the surface, or is it something that they kind of docked it in to make it look like it crashed here, or did it land and just spread the soil? And then they, of course, they put it super highlighted. Because here's the thing, this is what I don't get. Why is it that everything that's ever impacted always this bright flare out? You ever notice that? It's never a dull, like just, soil blasted away. It's always super bright around it. Why is that?
I don't know, but have you noticed the photographs of the rovers? I think it was the Curiosity rover that went across this one site, and in its track, the soil that was disturbed had this white look to it. Maybe there's a layer of sulfur or something just under the surface.
A very good possibility.
I don't know. Maybe some type of limestone. Or what's white? I don't know.
Yeah. Mag's case said, doesn't matter. It's definitely not natural formed for sure. That doesn't look natural. I see what looks like, I said, it looks like an arm sticking out of this thing. I'll go a little closer in here. I see something coming almost right out of the center of that thing, and it's something right in front of it right here. It looks like some kind of, like, something straight coming out of it with like a ball at the tip of it. So something coming out of the middle and something right at the very end of it, on the bottom of it. You can see what looks like some kind of straight piece with a knob or some kind of weird ball at the end of it. That, to me, is interesting. That's crazy.
Chris, can you magnify it?
Yeah, I should have zoomed in a little bit, but let's see. Let me go a little bit more here. Whoops. My bad. All right, that should be a little bit better. We don't want to go too bad because it'll definitely distort it. But I see something sticking out of this thing on the very bottom part of it and something coming right out of the center of it.
It looks like a structure, like an outpost.
Yeah, it's weird the way that thing is. That should be a little bit better right there. To me, that's just weird looking. And you can see, like I said, one thing, it's kind of a gray, and it's coming out through the center. And then you get the thing in the bottom, just to the left of that super largest white area. Just to the left, it looks like something straight sticking out with like a ball at the top. What the hell could that be?
It's got a hole in the middle.
Yeah.
Is that a... Do you think that dark spot could be a hole? Maybe it's venting something onto the surface.
I don't know. Noodles, you said lander. It could be, although it does have that weird look to it, but...
Yes. Look at the way the pattern spread out.
Well, that's why I said, is it something that landed there? But what I find amusing, like I said, I don't understand why they feel the need to highlight and put this white, whatever the hell they're putting around it. Since when, I understand what you guys are saying, you might have that sulfur or different soil underneath, and it kind of makes sense. But that highly reflective? Wow, I don't know. I can see it being whiter. I get that. That makes sense to me. But, man, it's like they went over and just went like this white paint over some crap. It just looks too bright. Like they're trying to hide details. Like something might have, like parts of it might have fallen off and they don't want you to see it, so they put these things around it. I don't know.
I wonder if it isn't ice underneath a thin layer of, I don't know, sand, dust.
Yeah, somebody's saying, Smart Steve 68 said, rotate it to the left. I can't, unfortunately. This is a regular page and not like in Photoshop because I would do that, right? Mars Time says a weather station. Could be. And you can see right here, it's an object was spotted inside the crater of the moon. So this is the moon itself. And let me see what else they got. And the way they explain this thing, as the craft scans an ancient volcano plain known as the Sea of Islands, it spots an unusual 130-foot wide crater below it. And, of course, this is in the crater. So, I don't know. And, of course, they took it with Sophia, when you can see it right here. Stratospheric Observatory for Infrared Astronomy. And so they go as high as they can so they can get away from the atmospheric distortions and any kind of pollution and stuff like that to try to get the clearest photos. So, yeah. And you guys will get the page here as well. But to me, that just doesn't look... It looks like they're trying to hide something. Now, maybe they're not. Maybe it is just the soil, but I don't understand how it could be that darn bright.
Don't know. We need boots on the ground. We need to go there, Chris.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna start taking donations so we can get our own craft. I know what you're saying, Smart Steve. You said, okay, turn your heads to the right. Because if you kind of turn it, you look at it, it almost looks like, I don't know if I want to use the term, it's like shaped like a large ship like you would see here on Earth, like in the water. But it's kind of like got this weird, I don't know. Look at the bright spot, the biggest one, bottom right of this, and it looks like it has some kind of shapes inside it, like at the very edge towards the center of that, whatever this thing is. It looks like it's some shapes there, but they highlighted it so damn much that you can't make out what it is.
Hovercraft.
I don't know. Master King K says they hiding 98% of the truth. I don't know about 98%, but they're definitely hiding a whole bunch of it. Let's just put it that way, right?
Yeah, can you imagine, Chris, if the anomalies we find, right? If a scientist comes forward and says, that one anomaly you found there is unnatural.
Yeah.
Just one. One of everything that we've shown them. Can you imagine what impact it will have on us as humanity and our history?
Well, again, imagine them seeing this. You're a scientist, and you happen to be looking through a telescope and see some of these things on the moon. What's your first reaction? Like, and if this happened back in, let's say, like a lot of these moon photos we've been analyzing lately, that these come out in the 1960s or even 70, the first thing you notice when you see something like that, you go, okay, we can see by looking at that, clearly that's not some kind of lunar, natural occurring thing. In other words, a butte, a rock, a stone, whatever it may be, a mountainous area or crater. Because it sticks out like maybe there's a bunch of 90-degree angles and there's a bunch of circles that are in there with it and just different shapes that like kind of scream like it's intelligently made. What do you say? Okay. So, clearly it's not ours. So right off the bat, okay, can we get people up there? Can we get them up there? So right off the bat, you're gonna go crazy, right? And this is the reason why they all went up there and did what they did.
It's sad that they don't want to speculate. Avi Loeb, I think from Harvard University.
Yeah.
The guy that says Oumuamua might be a spaceship, he actually said,
yep,
it's high time that scientists start speculating again.
Well, and I think they need to, because here's the thing. Even though he may be speculating, or he believes it really is because of the characteristics of it. Like I said, who is to say that if you really wanted to trick any civilization out there, but you wanted to go through their solar system, what would be the best way to do it? Well, clearly I can build it into something that's natural or make it look natural. And then as I'm flying through different solar systems, okay, shut all the power off and just let this thing topple like a dead stick going in and out. And then we'll just let the gravity just take us in and out of the solar system, and then we're out. I mean, who's to say they can't do that? And then once we're out of range and we can't see it anymore, okay, correct it, boom, they're off and going. How do we know? I mean, it's pure speculation, of course, but how do we know?
And how many so-called asteroids don't look like asteroids?
Yeah.
They look like spinning tops.
Exactly.
What looks like the Death Star? Or is it the moon of Saturn that looks like a Death Star?
Is it Iapetus?
I think so.
Yeah, so many of these things lately. My God. I mean, when you think of, what is it Saturn? It's got it might be Jupiter. I think it's got 63 moons now. I think that's what they found so far. 63 friggin' moons? Are you kidding me? Regardless, I mean, these things, they're absolutely insane, right?
Kyle, an asteroid, Chris, looks like two cones that have been put together. It's like a spinning top.
Yeah, something. Those two straight things sticking out, I think, tells me that's not natural. Now, Kyle, thank you for your support. As always, you said could be a down satellite, and I totally agree. It could very well be one. It's just weird to see it, because you would think that this thing would be scattered in pieces, right? I mean, unless it came to a kind of, when I say crash, it came down to a soft crash, if you will, if that makes sense. Instead of it slamming into it at like 17,000 miles an hour, because it basically would be obliterated. So I don't know. I see things there. It looks like, how do we even know this thing's, this might have been there all this time, and they just put these marks over there to make it look like it was something that landed there or crashed there. Maybe it is an actual structure, and they just put this stuff around it to make it look like, oh, yeah, that was a crash right there. So how do we know?
Mimi says it could be a drilling platform.
It could very well be.
Yeah, with that long round piece in the center.
Yep.
Maybe that's the drill.
It could very well be.
Interesting.
Let me watch it. What's going on? Good to see you. And he said, large equipment / buildings, et cetera, dropped on the surface. Could very well be. Again, it's all speculation. We don't know, right? But to me, that doesn't really look natural. Half of my brain saying yes. I see what looks like it could be like giant stones on top of it, on top of a bigger stone. But then the other part of me is going, okay, but what's that sticking out of the center, and what's that sticking out of the, just slightly to the left of that largest, brightest area? It looks like something straight, like I said, with a ball sticking out of it. So one part of me is saying that could very well be natural. It's something that's slammed into the lunar surface. And the other part's going, what the heck are those things sticking out of it? So, yeah, I mean, you got to analyze it, you got to do it right. You can't just say automatic spacecraft. You can't do that. But you can say, listen, I'm going to analyze this thing in both ways and try to be, methodical about it and say, these two pieces sticking out do not look natural. But yet maybe the rest of it does. So what is it? I don't know. I don't know.
It definitely looks like a sort of a pipe sticking out of that hole.
Well, and like somebody else asked, they said, well, how large is this thing? Now, let me see. I'm sure they do actually say that. So let me just back out here a little bit and see what it says here.
Chris, excuse me for a half a second. Just want to get some water quickly.
Oh, that's fine. Go ahead.
It's a red form here. I'll be back in a sec.
Okay, so Apollo lunar scientist Peter, I don't know why they call it Peter Schultz, detailed why scientists were baffled when they first investigated the snap. He said, I've studied a lot of craters on the moon. This is different. This is not like your regular crater. It looks like there's an object inside. So a planetary scientist, Matt Genge, I guess it is, added, it looks like something has smashed into the moon. It's really odd. Now, I find it hard to believe they're just acting like, oh, we just don't know what this thing is, because it can take unprecedented photos. We're talking about the LROC here, guys. We're not talking about some 2-bit, camera that was back in 1970s, those, kind of 35-millimeter throwaways. This is like ungodly resolution they can get out of this thing, right? Here it is right here, I guess, in the very center here. At least that's the way I guess they're trying to make it look right there in the center. Not sure. But a 58-foot wide object appeared to be in the inside of the crater. So there you go. There's your answer. 58 feet wide. Imagine that.
A machine, a structure.
Mimi says it could be metal or ice. Absolutely. Architect Net, you said U.S. and India just signed military pact against China. Things are afoot, Watson. Oh, yeah. Like I said, I'm just waiting for one of these countries to get really disgruntled and start ratting each other out. I'm sure you guys are doing the same thing. Yes! It's like, that'd be awesome. This maybe the truth would actually come out. I'd love to see that. But God knows what, right? Because they'll probably say, well, yeah, we'll shoot ourselves in the foot because they got the Chang'e 4 on the other side, or the other side of the moon, or the back side of the moon. So, and they're lying just as bad as NASA is, or JPL. No doubt about that.
Noodles asks, could it be a rail gun? Interesting.
Well, like I said, anybody's guess is as good as anybody else's if you really think about it, right? Again, we're only speculating as to what this thing could be. Now, some people say, "Oh, they think it's this or that." No, we're speculating. We don't know what it is. But the two features on this thing alone tell me it doesn't look like it's natural, and if it is, something unnatural is actually in the mix. So that's what I'm willing to say about it. I don't know if you got anything else to add.
Well, Chris, it's definitely got right angles to it. If you look at the shadow it casts, it's definitely a rectangular.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yep.
The shadow is definitely rectangular.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's just weird. It's just kind of like, yeah, and here's the thing. Why would there be a shadow if this area is so darn bright? I mean, you could have that, right? Meaning, like, in other words, let's say this is some kind of brighter, like a sulfur or whatever underneath the dirt, and you still have a shadow on it, right? But it looks like they kind of went over it. Like, you can actually see through it's weird, like, through the shadow. It's like you can almost see all the white, like, I don't know. It doesn't look consistent. It looks like, no doubt there's some crap in here that just doesn't look right. Architect Ned said, looks like a launch pad. Nothing would surprise me there either.
Oh, that's interesting too.
Yeah. Tony Gibbs, you said they could read license plates since the 80s. No, actually it goes back to the 70s, Tony, from Sats over the Earth. Absolutely. And they could do this. And if they had this, And this is what I've always said. Listen, they're not going to have this kind of quality like in the spacecrafts around Earth and say, hey, you know what? Why don't we just go ahead and throw a subpar piece of crap camera on the LRO? You know they're going to want to see that. That's all it has is eyes. So why don't we send the creme de la creme, best equipment we can possibly get? In fact, what's the best camera we got right now? Well, we got this one. Okay. So why don't we improve that tenfold? Because you know they're going to want the absolute highest resolution they can get. What we're seeing in these photos are crap. You know, like the ones I've been doing where, you know, they've been low-resed, brought way down for public consumption. These are not the high def. And like Sergeant Carl Wolf said, he said literally the detail was astronomical. The structures that he saw were domed. They were extremely large. He said miles wide. And I think it coincides with the video I've done. And like I said, wait until you guys see the second part. You'll be like blown away. And it's just like, it literally coincides with what he said. And many others have said, yeah, there's giant structures on the moon. And they don't mean giant like Eiffel Tower kind of thing. They mean humongous. I mean, these things are insane. And here's the thing. You don't have to worry about how heavy the building is, because how much is the gravity on the moon? And then there's no windstorms on the moon. You don't have to worry about anything toppling over. So once it's set, it's set. There's just so many variances. They can get away with extremely large structures on the moon. Think about it. We got 131 watching and 79 thumbs up. Somebody's slipping. Come on, guys. Nail that thumbs up. Hammer time. Smart Steve 68 says, miles high, the shard. Yes. That alone in that photo, I think that was a Soviet Union photo. Yeah, I think it was Soviet. Yeah, Soviet Union. And you can see that shard way on the very, I think it was the Terminator of the moon, wasn't it? If I remember that photo correctly, if it's the same one. Let me see. Yeah, Tony P, you're right. You said, and that was the mid-60s. Yeah, these guys are going way back, man. They had this resolution. So when they're coming out with this resolution on Mars and the moon they're showing us, you know it's absolute crap. You know, like I said, they might have a camera that says, okay, take it in this, you know, just downgrade it. Like, in other words, you could take your own digital camera and go from, let's say it's a 20 megapixel. You can just go down to 2. Okay, take a couple of shots of that. It's a lot smaller. Give it to the public. So if they try to, you know, zoom in, it just breaks apart. But by the way, keep the 20 meg for us or whatever they got now. I'm sure it's extremely high. Keep that photo for ourselves so we can see in the unprecedented detail. And like I said, for human consumption, give them the trash photos. And of course, they're doctored up to boot. So this is what we got, guys. This is what we got to deal with.
No, and we're doing a pretty good job, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Highlight these things.
Wayne Chunkwin, I guess it is. China and Russia are military allies, and if these countries want World War III, they will be foolish to fight them. They are foolish to fight them. Yeah, I mean, you know, I've always heard that too. A lot of people will say that, if we ever went to war with these other countries, keep in mind we're only seeing the hardware that the military has. What about the stuff we don't see? I mean, when you see these, basically, what is it? I'm trying to remember what the heck they called it. It's basically like a heat ray, right? Where it looks like a giant flat satellite dish, and you could be 100 meters away, at least, if not a lot further. And I remember seeing, I think we talked about this before in this Hangout, where they had this, it's on a Humvee, and these guys are like 100 meters away. There's 3 of them standing there. All they do is just hit this thing for a microsecond, just boop, and they all keeled over like, oh! Because it literally heats up every molecule, water molecule in your body. Of course, they say it won't do any damage to you, which I find it hard to believe. Can you imagine keeping that thing on you for 10 seconds? You literally burn up like you're in a microwave. So, and it's like, I forget how many kilowatts this thing pumps out. So, and that's just what we see in the hardware we have. What about the stuff you don't see, the public doesn't get to see? I don't really think any country wants to mess with the United States. Now, does other countries have other high tech as well? Absolutely. I guess it depends who's got the biggest toys. Is going to be the reigning king. To me, I could care less. It's not about pecking order, to be honest with you. It's about let's get along as a human race. That would be a good start, right? But yeah, just crazy stuff. Tony Gibbs, you said most of what China has built in the last 20 years is below ground. Yeah, they've been doing the same thing. I mean, what we've already been doing for years, they're now doing as well and have been. So, yeah, it's just crazy. It all comes back to, like, all right, who's got most guns and the most ammunition and who's got the best, technology. Can you imagine if every country worked together as opposed to, like, trying to figure a way to, oh, yeah, if he ever pisses me off, I'm just going to head and hit the button or just do this. Why do that? Think about where we'd be out in space right now if we all just stopped that and got along as a human race. All right. So we got this photo here. This one here is it's a Hart high school teacher on NASA flight that verified water on the moon. And basically they were on, I'm trying to remember if it was on that, a Hart High science teacher was on the NASA flight, which was part of the team that verified the first time water on the sunlit surface of the moon. Again, isn't it, hold on. Throat's dry. Hate it when that happens. But isn't the moon lit in some way all the time, different parts, kind of like we are? I think so. Let's see. You said, go ahead.
It rotates on its axis every 28 days.
What is it?
I think it's once every 28 days. That's why it always faces us.
Right.
I think so.
I forget what it is now, to be truthful. Okay, we already got that. This discovery indicates that water may be distributed across the lunar surface and not limited to cold, shadowed places, according to NASA. Now, even back in the day, the astronauts came back with, like, mud on their suits. And I'm talking about, like, on their shoulders and everything else. Wait a minute. That would indicate there's water or mist or something in the air or something in the soil itself. So this is nothing new. Sophia, which is that plane, has detected water molecules, H2O, in the Clavius crater, one of the largest craters visible from Earth, located in the moon's southern hemisphere. And, of course, that's where they're going, so it makes sense. But, yeah. I mean, again, guys, you get this link as well. And I think this one is the same way. Water on the moon could sustain lunar base. Having dropped tantalizing hints days ago about the exciting new discovery about the moon, the U.S. Space Agency has revealed conclusive evidence of water on our only natural satellite, which is not true. We still have another one. But it goes on to talk about that as well. How did scientists find this lunar water? And, of course, it goes on to talk about, there's airborne infrared telescope known as Sophia. And, of course, it goes on and on and on. NASA scientists discovered weird molecule in Titan's atmosphere. Imagine that. Science just keeps on giving.
Didn't they discover weird particles in Venus's atmosphere as well?
Well, yes, microbial. And they always speculated that, I forget how many miles, I think it's like 35 miles up from Venus's surface, that it's a lot like Earth. The atmospheric conditions are a lot like Earth, so favorable to life. And funny enough, voila, check that out. So, we got microbial life out in the atmosphere of Venus. Imagine that. Let's see. NASA scientists identified a molecule in Titan's atmosphere that has never been detected in any other atmosphere. In fact, many chemists have probably barely heard of it now. Heard of it or know how to pronounce it. Cyclopropene, whatever. C3H2. Scientists say that the simple carbon-based molecule may be a precursor to more complex compounds that could form or feed possible life on Titan. You notice how that's hinting a little bit of life here and there? Imagine that. I almost guarantee you there's life on every moon, some form or another. I don't care if it's microbial. I don't care. If it's, and again, okay, what does that feed off of? Does anything feed on that? So on and so forth. Is there like a life cycle, some kind of, cycle going on there? Maybe not. Maybe it just ends right there, right? Josh D says 30 people need to hit that like button now. You guys heard him. Nail it. Bam. What do you think about this? I mean, we've been seeing, like this picture here on the right-hand side, Jean. Right here is the actual image of Titan. Now, I've done a video of this many years ago. And again, it's always this, why is this suddenly looks like Mars? I mean...
Exactly. I was just going to say, it's got the red filter on it.
Yeah, imagine that. Again, they do this so they don't have any individuality as far as colors. They can blur it up so you don't see any detail. I can promise you there's a lot more on this photo because like right here, just this area alone, in here you can see where it's been fudged out, literally been fudged out. I'm going to go ahead and show you that. I'm going to zoom into it.
Can you download that photograph and open it in Photoshop?
I could, but wait a minute. Let me see. Let me see if this is the same one I've seen before.
You can download a larger photo and then zoom in on it. We can see what might be there.
But there is, you can see it actually purposely blurred. Now, why the heck would they blur anything in a photo? It simply makes no sense to me. I'll get a little bit more zoomed in. You guys can see that. Kyle says, I just hit the like button. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate you.
Unless it's sand.
Well, I mean, there's got to be some kind of soil or sand there anyway, but it's kind of weird. If you look at the rocks in the front, it almost looks like there's water there or something. It's kind of like that kind of weird, mushy, kind of look muddy looking thing going on. Or is there something there that is not natural? Because I can see that. Look at, I'm going to zoom in as much as I can. Look how blurry that is right here. You can see that, and you'll see, well, you'll see in a little bit, that this thing has definitely been blurred out purposely. You can see the difference between halfway up, it's got some decent resolution. When I say decent, you can see a little bit more detail. Then right here, you can clearly see it's blurred out. It's crazy how this stuff is. But again, my question's always been, I don't care what it is. Truthfully, I don't care. I don't care if it's organics. Okay. So what? Show the people. Why? If it's a raw photo, show the raw photo. Unless, of course, it's something they really want to hide.
Looks like liquid flowed there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Andrew Haberman, what's going on? You said, I wonder how many orange filters they put onto that photo. Well, see, that's the thing. And, you know, right off the bat, if I showed you guys this photo, you go, Mars. And clearly it's not. And this is what's crazy when they do this. And again, there's no reason I can see that you should blur the photo. None.
Chris, you want to play that audio clip that I sent you just now? About the blue sky.
Let me see. Let's do that. Let's jump over to here.
I didn't want to do the video clip just in case you get a strike.
Well, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I don't know. Will it be all right if you play the audio?
I don't know. Let's see here. What am I going to do with this? I'm going to have to make it really big here.
I think it's in the last 2 minutes.
It is. It's like, let me see if I can even find this.
That he says it. The blue sky.
Got to try to find that little audio bite. That was when we first got on there. You showed that to me. I think it was just before this. I don't remember when it was. I think it was just before that. Yeah, here it is. Okay.
So I'm standing by hoping to see that. But if that doesn't happen, we'll certainly get more images later in our Odyssey pass.
Okay, this is the scientist.
Waiting for it.
I don't know. Now, this is the InSight lander. Just to give you guys a heads up. This is the InSight lander. This is when I was talking to you guys saying that they're all in and go, oh, wow, the sky's blue. Now, this is just one of the people saying this, but watch what he says, and you can actually tell him what's going on here.
That's Justin Mackey.
That's just as InSight lander touched down.
Yeah.
And the first photograph was returned.
Waiting for the image to come back.
So this
lady's interviewing the scientist and he's giving a running commentary.
Two cameras.
Yes.
Probably
Yeah, we're just sitting there. We're just.
a view of what's directly in
He
front
talks about
of the spacecraft. right
Yes.
in front of the lander.
The,
this is a camera that it would be using to
blue
figure
sky.
out, is this a good space?
Exactly.
Is it a good place to put down our
But he
instrument?
definitely corrects himself.
Well, listen to
it
this
is
near the
going
end. Let's listen to this.
take an
Watch this,
image
right to the
and
end.
Send that image to the Marcos. The Marcos, in turn, will relay it back down to Earth.
That's correct. They got it. Oh, now
Let's
let's just wait. Let's see what they saw.
That's the touchdown, and saying that
There it is.
the craft is okay.
All right. Look at the great place. That's a good thing. That's not far from where we'll be able to deploy the instruments. So it's great. I don't see a lot of.
Let's explain that image. Now, this image has a dust cover on top of it.
EDLCom, we have lost the signal for Marco.
You can see potentially a lot of.
Radio science
a lot of debris
reports
that might be on the camera.
LOS for UHF.
So we don't know what I'm looking at.
Thank you, everybody on EDLCom.
All right.
Yay, Marco.
Just real quick, Smart Steve. No, that's not the InSight. It's the Perseverance rover that's supposed to be going in next year in February. Just so you know. But listen to this. This is another thing. I don't know if you picked up on this later on, because you're going to hear him talk about. They're talking about the photo right now, and they're talking about the red filter. But watch what he says, and then he kind of corrects himself. But listen near the end. I didn't notice this before until I listened to it after you showed it to me. Watch us.
Congratulations.
Meantime,
Oh, there it is. You can see a better view. You can see that really is debris. And there's the horizon back there, the bluish sky. That's part of the lander deck on the front left.
Chris, I
can't
don't
take
quite
out,
get
but it
the
looks like there's
sound.
not a lot of rocks in the field of view, but those dots you see there are very likely to be dust particles on the lens, the dust cover,
The dust
which will be
cover.
removed
and we'll get
moved.
another shot
Yes.
later on.
Yes.
Pretty
And a better,
amazing.
clearer view after the dust cutter is removed. So Insight's, Cubesats relay communications job is done. They're now flying on. They're now taking pictures back toward Mars. So
I'm confused about that pod. Did you catch that? The Cubesats. When did they send Cubesats to Mars? Am I the only one hearing that?
It was those little briefcase-sized
Right. Oh, I know what they are. I'm just saying, when the hell did they send those?
with InSight.
Well, see, I don't remember hearing about them sending it to. I remember them saying that they were thinking about doing it. I didn't think that they actually did it. That's what kind of had me a little screwed up. Because why would they need CubeSats if they got the orbiters above?
It was a technology demonstrator, Chris.
It might
They
have
wanted
been.
to see if they can reduce the size
Yeah.
of orbiters.
Yep.
They were testing the technology. Because the CubeSats didn't orbit. They went on past the planet,
Right.
not into deep space.
Well, that was interesting, because even everybody's on here saying, "Whoops, that slipped." And because here's the thing, it says it right there. And first they said the reddish filter, then they said, "Oh, bluish." What do you mean bluish? No, it's blue. And when you seen that, it was absolutely blue photo, blue sky rather, and you could see that without any, there was no doubt about it. And that's what I find interesting about that audio clip. And then it was, and I had forgotten about the CubeSats, now that you mention it, because I was thinking to myself, why would you need to send CubeSats? But if they can put it, if they can get more coverage as far as communication and stuff like that, it would help them greatly anyway. And CubeSats are not very big anyway. But, yeah, exactly, Leslie. Warren, you said blue skies. I heard blue skies. Yeah, and there was a woman on there, and I said this before, that they went, "Oh, my God, the sky's blue." And like I said, it wasn't 10 seconds later, boom, they cut that off. Let me see. Wing Chunkwin, you said George H. Bush was the last president that had above top secret clearances regarding UFOs. No president since has been allowed such clearances. You can forget about Trump and Biden disclosing crap. Yeah, I mean, I don't see it happening. The only reason why I can see it happening is because it's the Pentagon that released it, not him. So now, unless he decides to push it, like, you need to be. Now, he did say they need to be more forthcoming on the information, but you know darn well, if it's anything we're making that's top secret, they're sure in hell not going to share that. And if there's something that they know is much more powerful than them, meaning the military, they're not going to share that either, because they're going to say, okay, so basically you people are weak. Your military is weak. And, you know, that's why I said they had an issue with the idea that when they had, what was it, back in the 50s where they had all those UFOs around the Capitol or the White House, whatever it was. And, yeah, I mean, what? I mean, it's just crazy because they're thinking, oh, my God, we can't keep talking about this, because they couldn't do a thing about it. They knew that if they looked at that thing, they were, like, powerless against it. Like, there's no way they could do anything with that. So, yeah, they knew they were in trouble. Yeah, there's that blurring right there.
Wasn't it Eisenhower that signed the treaty? So-called treaty with these aliens?
Supposedly have, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I believe it is. I can't believe this. Look at this big square here of just blocked out information. Wow. This one right here, a lot more dense too, right in the middle. Right here on the right-hand side, completely taken out. Let me see how far I can go in with this thing. And that's when you can really see it. Look at this right here, going straight up here. Redacted information. Wow, that's crazy. Look at this. Right here. No detail whatsoever, completely redacted information.
It would be awesome if you could download the larger image.
Well, like I said, I actually did that. I actually did that at one point.
Then you can do it in Photoshop. You can highlight these anomalies in a video. Maybe, I don't know.
Let me see. What else we got here? Juno data indicates sprites and elves frolic in Jupiter's atmosphere. This is actually a pretty color, man. This is pretty neat. And of course, they said the lightning phenomenon known as sprite depicted at Jupiter in this illustration. Jupiter's hydrogen-rich atmosphere would likely make them appear blue. In Earth's upper atmosphere, the presence of nitrogen gives them a reddish color. And of course, there you go, image and caption. But, yeah, these things are like dancing in the atmosphere. You know, it's like basically lightning, right? And you can see that right there. Pretty cool. But you can see how they actually have it graphed. That's just weird, man. That's cool. But the planets are more alive than we think. You know, like we just think, you know, first thing you think of is when you think of like Mars, they always say it's dead, you know, it's barren. And you think, well, maybe the other planets are that way too. Are they?
Chris, have you listened to the radio waves emitted from Saturn?
Yes.
Some of it sounds like data bursts.
Yes. I heard that too. There was, what was it? What else did they have? They were talking about, it was audio from, I'm trying to remember if it was like all the planets. They had some from all the planets, and there was one that was like from just deep space. And you could just hear these weird noises. Now, of course, they had to change the audio for the air to hear it, because we can only hear in certain frequencies. But they had to do that. And what I found really interesting is the way some of these things, like you said, is like almost like a communication burst, or they could be light bursts too. And it's, of course, it's converted into sound. But just weird sounds, man. All right, let's see what else we got here. Going back to your stuff, you had these odd pieces of broken ancient statues with a question mark. And you can go ahead and talk about this one here. You'll see it pop up there in about 10 seconds, roughly, maybe less. But this is yours. Odd pieces of broken ancient statues. And now you told me who actually done this first, and I'll let you go ahead and tell a story of this one once it pops.
It was Will Ferrar.
Yeah.
It was Will Ferrar. And I think it was this video. And the next one of the megalithic blocks that Curiosity photographed that got me into doing this research.
Mm-hmm.
Because these look like sculpted pieces with slots cut into them. One looks like a sculpted fish head with the two jaws and the eye, the top part of the image there. That looks like a fish head with an eye on
near
it.
the end. Oh, no, yeah, it's almost near the end top thing.
And then these strange pieces that look like broken pottery, clay pottery.
The one on the left.
And then the part on the right looks like something with flanges on it, like a triangular part in the middle, and these two flanges sticking off on the sides.
Yep.
Mm.
Architect
Awesome.
Ness says, listen to FRBs slow down. You're right, which is the fast radio burst, and it's you're right. I mean, slow down. They're just weird sounding, and let me see. I thought I had that, but I don't think I do. I'm trying to remember if I had it. Well, it doesn't really matter at this point. But, you know, I've always said it's kind of like this galactic newspaper being shit around, the universe, like this short, because it's only like millisecond in flashes, right? But we don't know if this stuff isn't being broadcasted through light, like ungodly amounts of data, sent through light. We don't know. And I can almost guarantee SETI does. And, places like that, because they're saying, what are they? And I forget the guy's name because I always forget his name. But what I find interesting is he's like, well, it can't be anything alien because you see it like it's, 400,000 light years away, and this one's only like 30,000. What does that mean? That's like saying everybody that's ever used a radio, I don't care if it's a CB, a ham radio, whatever you want to call it, walkie-talkies, they're all scattered about, so clearly they're not talking to each other. What? That doesn't even make sense. I mean, these guys can be communicating with light as opposed to sound radio waves, and it's just so much easier. Maybe they don't get as much interference, like radio can, right? Like a radio wave can. So I don't know. You can't chalk that off.
That FRB might be a beacon,
right?
And they're transmitting in a whole different spectrum.
Exactly.
That's only the part that we can detect. That might be the beacon that goes out with the main signal, which is in a different spectrum that we don't monitor.
Mm-hmm.
And that's megawatts. I mean, those things are powerful.
Oh yeah. You see something here? Copy that. Okay. Yeah, I mean, to me, I don't know. I've always speculated that everybody thinks that they're going to communicate like us. Well, we're already transmitting in laser, like in light beams. We've already done this. Now they claim, well, we're just getting into the kind of infancy stage of that. Oh, bull. Like I said, the military is far beyond that. We communicate already through fiber optics, so why is that hard to believe? So laser can't be all that much different as far as like information within a light beam. So if they just went a quick flash, that could be tons upon tons of information or data through that flash of light. And if as long as you got a receiver for it, it just comes in, okay, today's news, doesn't think nothing of it, right? All right, let me see. Here's that light piece here. Now here's the one he's got. Noodles keeps saying, John Ward, let's see this week's disc. Now I've got this other one. This is on his site as well. Crash disc found on Mars. And of course you go into detail on this. We'll wait until it pops up on the other end because this is where Jean is seeing this. Here's one of the things. You can tell him about this once it sets in there.
Okay.
This is a cool picture, actually. Coming up now.
Yeah, I think Mars Moon Space TV originally featured this, and then Will did one as well. But it looks like a disc.
Yeah.
Came in at a very low angle and crashed into the surface. If you click on that image, it will take you to the original 1:1 scale.
Mm-hmm.
I think that disc is about 20 meters in diameter. Or 12, like all the ones that I find. They're all about 12 meters in diameter. It's weird. I don't know how to explain it.
I mean, is it possible that could be natural? I guess.
There's dunes. There's definitely small dunes in the trench.
Right.
But the front part looks like a disc.
Yeah.
It isn't like a round dune. Well, to me, it doesn't look like the dunes behind it.
No, I don't think so either. All right. I don't know what section this would be in, because I haven't really dissected this yet, so I don't know.
Oh, you haven't oh, there we go. It's in the top.
That's what I was going to say.
Right.
Isn't this thing in the top?
Yeah, top right. More to the right. Chris, as far as I can remember, it's close to the top right. But remember, it's very small, so you're going to have to open it in high view to actually see it. But you can see the trench faintly in the top right-hand corner.
I'm just going to take a quick look, see what we got here.
Somewhere there.
I don't want to go in too far. It's just starting to come apart now, so let's just back up one step.
Or a bit further down, Chris. It's been such a long time since I've looked at that photograph.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to find in these too. Like you said, you have to really put into the other viewer in order to get this thing. It might be right here. See it right there?
No, it's further down, Chris.
I don't know. It looks like the one right there. Right there, you can see it. Rounded right there, and it's skidding right across. But it's because such a low res, because we're actually zoomed right into it. It looks like crap. But
No,
that looks like you can see the half round right there. And
yeah, there it is. That's it. You see, it looks as if it came in at a very low angle.
Yep.
And left the trench and pushed up the sand in front of it.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that uniform width of that trench as well.
Whoops.
That just says to me something crashed there.
Oh, yeah. That's what it looks like to me, too. And then maybe the sand dunes just, filled in after. How do we know, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah, from the wind. Yeah, because there's a lot of wind on Mars. We've seen that with all the dust devils and things.
Oh, yeah. Mr. James Cragen. Hold on a second.
Sorry?
James Cragen, thank you very much for your support. You said, hi, Chris and Jean. Hi, everyone else here tonight. Lunar vid this week was fantastic. Even with what you were pointing to in the vid, it has plenty more also. Yeah, and I even said that about the video. I said, guys, I'm going to show you what popped out here. Just really large ones, but there is plenty more to see. It would probably be like a 45-minute video, if not longer, because you want to pinpoint every little thing, but I like the idea of everybody else jumping on board and really ripping these things apart. And I'm glad that people are taking notice and jumping on that surface site where they're looking at all these moon photos themselves, which is awesome because it's telling me that everybody is truly interested and they're trying to get, see the stuff for themselves. So, yeah. So, James, thank you very much for your support as always. Noodle said, weird square dune patch alert.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I'm telling you, this is just some bizarre things on there. Let me jump back out of that. But to me, that's interesting right there alone. You see what else we got on here? He's got some links, of course. There's another one here. Disk crash impact site and Martian. That is pretty interesting, that one right there. That is cool. That is a good... I don't know if I've seen this one. How long ago was this one here? This video.
Oh, I did that thing ages ago.
Okay, that's probably...
about 2.5 years ago.
Huh.
Yeah.
Let me see what everybody else is saying here real quick. Okay. Okay, let's jump to the next one, see what else we got here.
Chris, have you also noticed on your YouTube channel itself, if you go to videos,
Mm-hmm.
that YouTube only lists the last couple of months' videos.
Yeah.
Not all your videos are visible.
Well, I know
I
that.
don't
I'm
know
telling
why.
you, they're playing games big time. They're playing
I don't
games.
know why. Even Rich from Goofon noticed that. Only 5 months worth of his videos show.
Yep.
That's why I like my blog, because you can see the video is still there, even if it's 2.5 years old. You can see that video is embedded there and you can play it. But if you go to my channel, you won't find that video.
Yeah, that's why I need to build my own site. I was just talking to a friend of mine about that. I need to build I'm a little wet behind the ears when it comes to building my own. I want to build a site where it has everything on it, where I can put the videos on there, because if this YouTube just, I mean, come on. I've been at 57,500, subscribers for God knows how long. Come on now. You know as well as I do, there's people jumping on board all the time, and yet it's still showing the same numbers? Come on. They're playing with us big time. And
I gain between 5 and 10.
Yeah. But you may
subscribers.
lose a couple, gain a couple. Lose a couple,
Yes,
gain a
there's
couple.
churn.
Yeah.
There's a churn.
Yeah.
And I only gain about 5 a month.
And which is crazy, because you're getting more than that. I don't know if you noticed this too. I had one video, this is no lie, and I think I think I might have put it on like a day or two, and it had like, I'm going to guess, it was probably on like 2,000, let's call it 2,430 pieces. 30 pieces. I'm thinking, I'm looking at this thing right now and it says pieces on. Let's say you got 4,320 views, okay? It's funny, I literally have the page on there. I'll go out, I'll go do something. Oh, I forgot to turn the computer off. I'll come back, I'll refresh the page. Suddenly I lost about 10 views. It drops down to like 4,310 views. Wait a minute, what's going on here? It's like they're literally stealing the views from you, so you're not getting, the revenue you should. And by God, if they're putting their ads in your videos, by God, you should get that. And yet they're toying with us. They're messing with people. This is the reason why I always stress to these guys, if you can, share these to your social sites, share it out, because what it is if YouTube is not willing to share it, then it's up to us to do it, to get the word out. And I strongly believe that's the way it is. It doesn't matter if it's my videos, your videos, or anybody else's. If they're toying with people and they're messing with their views and everything else, well, clearly it's affecting just getting the information out. Forget about the revenue part, throw that aside. I'm talking about just getting views out. And if they're, you're going, oh, wow, at least more and more people are seeing this. Then you refresh the page and 10 or 20 views just dropped off the page. What? What's going on here?
And you know what, Chris? I've noticed that your videos don't show up as suggested.
Oh, I know. No, they won't.
When I'm logged in on YouTube,
Yep.
1 or 2 of your videos used to show up under suggested or recommended. But
Yep.
for the past month and a half, nothing. None of your stuff shows up there anymore.
Yep. I'm telling you, it's been happening a lot. And it's kind of like, why you... This is what I don't understand. And we talked about this before we even went on live. This is earlier today. If you're making money off these videos that people are making, like myself, you, or anybody else, then why does it matter? Unless I'm putting on some real disgusting, stuff on there. I can understand you wanting to, not have me suggested, or, limiting my channel. I get all that. It makes sense to me, because you're putting out garbage. And of course they consider like a conspiracy theories, like, who shot John F. K. or 9/11 and so on and so forth. I get that part, because people can twist a lot of facts, right? So, but, how is it a conspiracy theory if you say, well, I believe this may be a structure, or it stands out, it's an anomaly, and I have facts to back it up? How is that a conspiracy? It makes no sense. Now, if you're just pulling it out of your rear end, go, I think there's stuff on the moon, and you never show a thing out there, meaning you never show any picture of what you believe is out there, then what's the point, right? So I don't know. It's just weird. But yeah, they are censoring us, guys. There's no doubt about it. This is the reason why I can't stress enough to kind of, to share the stuff if you can, or at least, broadcast it to others. Oh, you ought to see this. If you think this is wild, you ought to check this channel out. Stuff like that. Because it's just insane how much stuff is really out there, and they're limiting people who can see it. It makes no damn sense. Bobby Pentland, thank you very much, sir, for your support. It's much appreciated. That's pretty cool. I like the hippo there. That's pretty cool. Again, thank you for your support. Much appreciated. You guys rock. Let me see. Elaine Wall says, same here, Jean. I have to physically check your channel and Chris's to see if there is a new video. The other night I got a notification 8 minutes after you released a video. I about fainted. So you're getting the same thing apparently. They're not being notified.
At least, you know, the channels I've subscribed to, those do come up.
Yeah. Yep.
But you used to come up in suggested.
Yeah.
Which, it's weird that they've changed it. I think it's because of the elections.
Well, I'll tell you what. The only time I'll see your videos is if I happen to be on one of your videos. Have you ever noticed that? So if you go to one of my videos, look on the right-hand side and then scroll, you'll see a couple more of my videos. But if I'm not, I will not see one of yours. That's weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
The algorithm changed.
Yep.
About a month ago, I think.
Yeah, it's basically like James Craig said. It's basically being policed, you know. Architect, he's talking architect. It was late again tonight, but it's but architect now says conspiracy has become to mean not true, but that is a fallacy. Conspiracies are just secret agreements between two or more people that you don't know about. Well, and that's true to me. I mean, it makes sense. It's kind of like, again, how is it a conspiracy if you can back it with facts? It's not a conspiracy at that point. You know, if you just, like I said, if you just pulling wild allegations out of your rear end and saying, well, I've seen a huge structure on the moon and then leave it at that. Well, it's just your word. Can you show me? And if I show it to you, and of course you have to discern whether you think it's real or not, but if it stands out from its environment, it's anomalous. Again, how is that a conspiracy? Clearly it stands out. So, I don't know. It's just, it's mind-boggling how stupid some of these things are. All right. I don't know if you want to present this one here. Rectangular object leaving track on Martian surface. Now, this one here is an oldie but a goodie. And there's more to this. And this is a JP2 image, I believe. This is cool.
Okay, this one also, I don't know if other researchers featured this one, but I saw it a while ago, a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
On Will Ferrar's channel.
I was going to say, I believe he was the first one that did it.
And, yeah, I'm not sure if you click on that image, if you can see the other objects that left tracks as well. But look at that, eh? You've got a straight line, or, well, two lines parallel to one another.
Yeah.
Spaced equally apart. And then that smaller object comes off at an arc. It's just, and it originates out of the same spot. So why, if those were boulders running down an inclination, why did the one turn like that?
Right. And the one above it does the same thing. Remember I showed you earlier when we were looking at this. This is before we did the Hangout, guys. The one above that track, you're saying they're both running in parallel, which they are. And then you got the other one, it's real faint, but it's coming off too. It's straying off from the main path. You got one that's almost like a complete nice radius, and the other one's kind of like a stretched out S. It kind of has a little swerve to it. But what the hell is that?
Yeah.
This thing's not
So
loading.
you've got two straight tracks, and then two objects coming off at arcs like that.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on there?
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I get the idea if they have, like, what do they call them, like a rolling rock type thing or creeping rocks. They have them in deserts here on the Earth, make it sound like we're on a different planet right now. But on Earth, we have these kind of rocks that do that too. They're like a creeping rock or rolling rock. But I get that. But these are two straight lines, pretty much straight lines, and then you get these things that deviate from them lines. So, yeah, what's going on there?
It's just too coincidental.
Yeah. And I've said this before. I've looked at the one that, the photo that Will did, and there's much more to this photo. There's actually structures in here. And I've looked at this before, and I'm going, yeah, I wonder what the heck that is. But these were between mountain ranges he showed when it was like between mountains. And when you look at it, and you can almost see like structures on either side of this, but you can see how this is whited out and, you know, highly, you know, just brightened up, you know.
It's really strange too that the tracks they fade away at their origin and they fade away at their end.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the wider tracks.
Yeah.
But the arcs, those two arcs, the objects are still there.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, I don't understand that. It's almost like there's machines more than anything, and they just happen to be making their way across the actual land, and yeah, it just doesn't make sense. I'm looking at this object right here. I don't know if this thing ever loaded. It's not loading on this page. I don't know what it is. Now it is.
I know the last time we tried to access my site from your end using this streaming software, it seems to time out.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all.
Maybe it's very bandwidth intensive. I don't know.
Well, probably because I'm taxing it too. Because
Yeah.
like I said, I've got this computer here doing the live feed. I got one that's receiving the live feed. So yeah, well, I've already got it
There
on
you
there
go.
now. You just see in the delayed area, but yeah, I mean, it's just crazy stuff here.
It's at the top. They have highlighted it. Is that it there?
It's in that square, isn't it?
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's a pity I haven't got a closer look. Not so zoomed out. This is when I was first starting up with this research.
Yeah.
I was still learning the ropes, you know. I think I must do a revisit on some of these older videos of mine.
Yeah. Sometimes you need to.
I think so, Chris. I must, yeah.
Let me see.
But it's in that area there.
Yep. Yeah, I've seen this. These are awesome. Some of
And
these the views, satellite views.
And it's small. You have to have the JP2 open in
Right.
high view to see it.
Yeah. Well, to see good quality anyway, because you're not going
Yeah.
to see it like that. It'll just break apart. You know that.
I mean, that little object at the end of that curvature is about 4 meters across.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's there in that area there somewhere. It's between two mountain ranges
Yeah.
or two hills.
Let's
Oh,
see.
man.
Who else is in there? Let me just see. King Bogart's in there. Hi, Chris. They've been making me work Friday afternoons. Nice to join you again. Well, good to see you in there, Mr. King Bogart. We got Sarah Michelle in there. Lafreniere. What's going on? Good to see you in there. Let's see. I don't know if Sarah wants to talk about her little piece she did on Antarctica or not. I don't know if it's quite finished yet. If it is, she can drop a link and I'll give it to you. She's doing, checked it out. She's doing fantastic work on this. You will, I haven't seen anything like it, the way she's put this thing on there. In other words, the way she's done it, the research on this, it's laid out like an actual book, to be honest with you guys, when you read it. And she's got illustrations and photos, real photos, of course. Really excellent work. Like I said, if she's ready, like I told her, I said, I haven't said anything because at the time she wasn't ready to show it yet. But if she wants to, she can drop a link. We can go ahead and put the link up there and we can check it out. Absolute good work. This is fantastic. I seen it and I was like, wow, that's nice. A lot of good, interesting information. That's what I like about it. I'm just catching up to the bottom here now. She's saying, hi, Mars Anomalies and Beyond. Hello. She said, not yet. Okay. So when it does go on there, I'm going to drop the link to you guys because it's absolutely awesome. I started reading this thing, and she's been kind of censored herself. And, of course, she basically pushed back, and they no longer censored her. So she's trying to get this thing finished up. And like I said, great work, by the way, Sarah. And you guys will get the link to it as soon as she gives me the go-ahead. Because I think everybody needs to see it. Because there's a lot of stuff in Antarctica that's just absolutely crazy. In fact, I might take. She showed me some of the photos that she has, and I want to go ahead and, bring down the brightness because I think they're actually censoring those photos too. What the public can see, and you can see some things on the edges that don't look quite right on these land masses, if you will. So yeah, I'll be she's saying hello to you as well, Jean Ward. Hello, my lovely friend. So yeah.
Hi, Sarah. I replied to her in the chat as well. Thanks, Chris.
She says, oh, Chris, you're too kind. Thank you. No, I'm not just being kind. I mean, I'm telling the truth. You know, it's very well thought out and written. That's what I love about it. It's like I said, I can sit there and just read it like a book. And it's, like I said, well thought out and well laid out. So, you know, so when she gives me the go-ahead, I'm going to go ahead and drop the link to you guys, and you guys can definitely check that out. She said, it's a good chunk of my master's thesis of they censor the heck out of Antarctica. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. And I can see just the way that the photos look. It's almost like moon photos where you can see like areas of doctrine, like they doctored that stuff up. It doesn't look quite natural. It's just weird. It's just, you know, here's a perfect example. Not that. But here. This is just one of them. One of the photos here. And she sent me this. It's about global climate change. And really, really interesting. But when you look at some of the mountains here, of course, it won't allow me to do it. Really zoom in. But it just looks like, I don't know how to, it's like they like doctored up, like dressed it up. But she's got some wild photos on there that clearly is not natural at all. And stuff that has actually been made by either other civilizations and of course there's bases and stuff like that up there, our own, of course. But here's the thing. If we would go back to, you know, X amount of years before the ice caps and everything else and all the ice sheets and everything else, during the non-ice age, you know, there's people living on that part of the land or that part of Earth. So why is it hard to believe that we're not going to see anything that was, you know, intelligently made like us? We're making it, right? So how do we know what's really there? I think there's a lot of stuff there they're just not telling us at all, and they're just now starting to figure it out. But again, she's done so much research on this that it's crazy. Tony Gibbs says Google is masking the truth everywhere. I totally agree. Let me see here. I want to put you back on there. Let me see. Let me do this. Let me get this off here. Put this up here. Let's do this. And here I am. Happy Halloween. Oh, kidding. Scary, isn't it? But yeah, so we're back on now, both of our faces. So let's see. And beyond, I was personally shocked at what I found. The government lies. Yeah, I agree with you, Sarah. I mean, listen, again, it's like they're trying to suppress our knowledge of our past. I think everybody would agree on that. You know, and then you say our past, and then you look at what's being censored on the moon photos, Mars. I mean, it's on a grand scale people just can't understand. I don't know. What's your view on that? Do you think that that's what's going on, or do you just think that's something they stumbled upon? As I don't think it's like a need-to-know basis. I don't think people really need to know that. What do you think about that? Do you think is it like do you agree, or do you have a different, view of it?
Well, look, if you look at the ancient text that Billy spoke about too, they definitely know. Look, these are occult organizations. We know that.
Yeah.
And they know it. They're very much into the occult. And they know about all these things. And they don't want us to know because it will empower us.
Yeah.
Knowledge is power. And they want to keep their hands on this because their ultimate goal is, if I could put it this way, they want to live forever. They're total psychos, if you ask me, psychopaths.
Mm-hmm.
And they see themselves as more superior to the normal man or woman on the street.
Yeah.
And they'll do anything in their power to hold on to any sacred knowledge or power or artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they'll always go to the extremes of finding all these artifacts in Antarctica, for example, and they won't tell us about it.
No.
We are going to be the disclosure movement. I don't think we're going to hear it from any president or any high-ranking official. TTSA has been messing us around with those 3 grainy videos now for how many years?
Mm-hmm.
And they promised better footage. Still haven't seen anything.
Nope.
And what happened to the metamaterial? What happened to all the money that was donated to the TTSA to build their spaceship?
Yeah.
That's all a psyop. I'm afraid to say it. Well, that's my opinion, Chris. So I think it's up to us to do this, the disclosure.
Well, I mean,
and
we are part of that now, right? We are the disclosure, basically. You know, we're taking it step by step, like a lot of other people. It's not just you and I. There's a lot of people doing this, right? So it's like, you know, we are part of the movement, and it actually feels good to be able to do that because, you know, I'm seeing this stuff. I love to do this to begin with. It's just, you know, it's a passion of mine. It's a hobby of mine, and it's something I like to do. So, and, you know, and like I said, I started off like you did. I was starting to watch, let me see, I forget the other gentleman's name. He's from the UK. Michael Witter. Way back in the day when he was doing videos, and him and both Will, I was watching their videos, and like I said, I just come out and I said, how did he miss that? It was like an abstract. You really couldn't see it unless you really look for the lines. So then I'm looking, I'm going, what the hell? Wow, there's something it's like a photo inlaid behind another photo, if that makes sense. Because they are stacked photos, right? So I seen that like these shapes, but yet it's like Casper, like it's ghosted out. That's why I use the term ghosted. Because it's like you can see Casper, but he's transparent. So you can see the outline of him, but he's transparent. You almost can't see him, depending on the transparency, you know what I mean? So I'm going, wow, what the hell? So I decided to look into these. Of course, I was already looking at these photos long before I started doing this, right? But as I got into the Mars ones more and more, wow, I said, I like this. So the more I did, I said, I got to share this. So I started doing that, and that's when I got into it. It was just awesome to be able to jump into this. And, you know, this is, well, I think I started in 2012, I think it was. And quite a bit of information was really coming out because they had the Curiosity rover going there, all this kind of stuff. So it was just cool time to get in. And like I said, Michael Witter was showing some crazy things. Of course, he didn't really get into depth. I mean, I've done a couple of his photos. When I first did it, I absolutely said, I got this from Michael Witter. He's the one that done this first. Did a fantastic job. Of course, he got scoffed at, but who doesn't? I mean, you get scoffed at some point. You know, you're going to have that. That's the way people are. But it just, you know, when I seen his work, I was like, wow, this guy's seen some really bizarre stuff. So I decided to go with it and run with it, and I told him about it. In fact, I'm friends with him on Facebook. But he quit doing it a while back. He asked me about a certain photo. He says, what do you think of this? I said, well, it could be either or. In other words, you got to look at it from a common sense point of view, but you got to be realistic too. So I said, well, it looks like this, but it could be this as well. So, and then he was like, okay, cool. So yeah, I think he did one other video, and I don't know if he was just getting out of it, period. I don't know what it was, but he just basically jumped off and hasn't done one since. So I don't know what was up with that. I don't know if he just seen a few of these things and wanted to convey them, and then that was it. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't like a hobby thing like you and I are doing, and wanting to bring this up.
Does he still have a presence on YouTube, Chris?
His channel's still there, but he doesn't do anything. He doesn't. I don't even know if he even responds to it. No, I don't think he even responds to the emails or messages, rather.
Do you know what his channel's name is?
I think it was just Michael Witter.
Really? I must look it up.
Let me see.
I can
There was
find
something.
it.
I'm trying to find. Messy Ending wrote, that's when Buzz did the tweet saying that he had found a pyramid in Antarctica and it was evil and he got sick and runs back. Then they said the tweet was a hack. Now, I think a lot of these guys see a lot of stuff, especially being on the moon and stuff like that. I don't think they're like senile. I think they pretty much got their head together, right? Let me see. What else we got here? Elaine Ward says, I think people should have the right to know. If they want to know, i.e. about our past, and not have it hidden or doctored. Feels like being wrapped up in cotton wool, as if the knowledge would hurt us all. And I totally agree. You know, but again, we're not looking at it from a military perspective, like from the DOD perspective. They're thinking, now, I don't know about the stuff here on Earth. To me, I don't know why it would matter. Like, let's say they said, well, we found all kinds of crazy structures in Antarctica and stuff like that. Okay. Now, and nobody be like, oh my God, this is like mind-boggling. They'd go, oh wow, that's cool. Especially if there's anything to do with pyramids or anything like that. Now, if it was something to do with some kind of alien thing, they can bet they'd hide that. But why hide anything else that might have been, you know, people lived there before the Ice Age or during the Ice Age or whatever, after or before? Why would they care? They'd be like, well, clearly it's a piece of land. People are going to live on it. So why would people be blown away or scared about that? I don't know. It's just weird. It's mind-boggling the way they think.
Yeah, I mean, Praveen Mohan does structures and anomalies on Earth.
Yes. Yep.
And he gets censored sometimes.
Oh, did you see what happened? Yeah, he was actually giving up. His channel got all his videos got demonetized. Of course, this is a while back. And then he got it remonetized. And he's like, I'm going, why would you do that to a guy that's not doing anything wrong? He's literally showing, good stuff. He does great videos.
Maybe it's a warning shot across the bow.
That's what I'm thinking.
He's getting too close to the sacred knowledge.
Well, yeah, like, I think it was, who was it talking about Angkor Wat's earlier, where they showed like dinosaurs and carvings on these stones. And he's absolutely right, because Angkor Wat's actually shows, you can see what it looks like. I think it was a stegosaurus. I could be wrong. Trying to remember who it was that said it earlier. Was Architect Nat who said it? But it showed look like a stegosaurus, just like in, what was the other ancient ruins? These guys will come up with it before I think of it. I can almost guarantee. I get so many things going through my mind right now. But
nice.
No, it wasn't there. It was one of the oh man, where all the megalithic blocks are buried, and they unburied them, and they're almost like they're all standing up, and they got like everything from dinosaurs to regular animals to just different things.
Turkey? Is it in Turkey?
Oh, wait a minute. I can just feel it's there, but I just can't get it out. Let me see if anybody else has figured. I don't see it.
Göbekli Tepe.
Yes. Göbekli Tepe, yep.
Yeah,
okay, Sarah says that Buzz Aldrin, that story is untrue. I spoke directly. Oh, okay. But I wonder if he's like just retracting some of it. In other words, if he has some kind of, we're going to call it the gag order, if he has something like that, in other words, it seems like he was never right. I don't know if you guys have seen this yourself. Oh, Sarah, let me ask you that question. Do you think he was the same person he was coming back from the Apollo 11 mission? Do you believe he's the same guy? He seems like he's changed an awful lot. Remember, he went into hiding for a while, and he was like totally out of the public scene for a while. Then he came back. He seemed like he was a little off to me. I'm not saying the guy was, he doesn't have any marbles left. I'm just saying he just seems changed. Maybe it's just me, but anybody else think that? Or Sarah, what do you think?
You know who else came back but changed? It was Neil Armstrong.
Yes. Yep.
You also withdrew completely from society.
A lot of them did.
And we wouldn't do interviews.
Nope.
And when they interviewed the three astronauts, Neil and them, Neil actually looked sideways at I think it was Buzz. No? Who was talking about stuff, and he silenced him.
Yeah.
And he looked angry.
Well, I mean, a lot of these guys went through that crap. Like I said, they went. again, we see the press conference after they came back from the Apollo 11 mission. These guys were distraught. I don't care what anybody says. These guys were totally out of their minds. Like, they didn't want to be there. They had so much that they had to try to wrap their mind around that they couldn't even think. It's like they wanted to sit there and converse with each other and say, the hell with the people, the press conference. They just didn't, picture all of us going up there, because that'd be a lot of people. But we're all up there and we see these incredible things that we know is not man-made. Can you imagine? Now, all of a sudden, they want to put you in a press conference. You're going, like, I want to talk to you people. What are you, insane? I want to talk to my friends here and discuss what we saw up there. It's incredible. Why the hell would you want to talk to these meager people at the time compared to what you just seen something so fantastic? It simply doesn't make sense. So I seen these guys, and it's just crazy. Now, Sarah says, when she says second part to it, I spoke directly to the tour group owner about Buzz. I was trying to land an interview. Buzz was nowhere near any of the ancient sites, opposite side, Antarctic. Okay.
But he did mention that he saw something terrifying.
Yeah.
I wonder what that could have been.
I don't know. Okay.
But remember, that tweet was deleted shortly after that, which is also rather strange.
See, even Sarah's saying the tour company owner sent me a pic of the two of them. He said he was surprised at how little Buzz discussed space at all. He got moody when the moon was brought up. It's probably because, remember, they were badgering. What was that guy that was badgering him? You guys never went to the moon. Put your hand on the Bible. And, of course, what's his name? Clocked him. Gave him a good right hook. You guys, swear in the Bible. You guys never went. You cowards and all kinds of names. And he just punched him. I forget what astronaut was that. That was funny as hell. And, of course, the video shows him slow-mo. Boom! Right hook, right to the face, right to the jaw. Knocked him silly a little bit, too. That was kind of funny. But, maybe he doesn't, it's probably because he's been badgered so much about, you guys didn't go to the moon and all this other crap that, he just got tired of hearing it. Think about it. And maybe it just brings back this weirdness to him, because if he still has all that in his head about what he saw on the moon, and clearly he's not going to want to talk about it again. I think he was a changed man when he came back. I don't care what anybody says. And I think I'd be a changed man, too, if I went up there and seen what these guys seen. How can anybody be the same after that?
No, absolutely.
Oh, was it Buzz that kicked his ass? Oh, my God, that was too funny. Quote, not real. The tweet was, I saw the face of evil today. I have a copy of my Antarctic. Okay. They said the Twitter quote was not real. I saw the face of evil today. So, and it doesn't surprise me. Everybody's trying to make, either money or get hits off of, trying to put words in other people's mouths when they never said it, so on and so forth. So it wouldn't surprise me if it was, in fact, drummed up or faked or anything else. But he did say about the monolithic on Phobos. That he did say. Because I remember hearing that straight from when he was on the news channel, and he was speaking about it. He goes, wait until they seen that megalithic, structure, whatever it is, on the moon. People are going to say, what is that? Who put that there? So that there was real.
But that statement also came way out of context and way out of the blue, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, somewhat, yeah.
It's weird, the way that he said it.
Oh, James said, Chris, or Jean, that was when they were asked by an astronomer in the press conference, did they see the stars around them? But Buzz said yes, but Collins correctly replied, no, we didn't. It was a strange moment. Again, yeah, they were kind of like, they were looking at each other going, you see stars? I didn't see any stars. And they're kind of looking at each other like again, if you could see stars from here on Earth, right? I'm over there. I'm in a craft. I'm coming from the moon. I'm sorry, from Earth, and I'm going to the moon. I'm seeing all kinds of stars. I'm seeing the sun, the moon, and Earth all at the same time. It's a spectacular view. The astronauts even say that. So now, okay, I see it all. Why would I want to look at the stars again when I'm on the moon? Especially when I'm seeing things here that are so fantastic I can't wrap my mind around. Why would I want to see that? Yeah, guys, no, never mind about those those alien spacecraft and those structures. I want to look at these stars. These are interesting. No astronaut's going to do that. I'm sorry. So that's why they don't remember the damn things. They weren't there for that. So, yeah. Mimi says, I wonder if the astronauts today would react the same. No, they probably wouldn't be as stressed out about it, but you can bet they would probably blow off the questions.
Chris, I think they've been briefed.
Oh, yeah.
The astronomers today, or the astronauts, sorry,
Yeah.
are actually better briefed than were the original Apollo guys. I know that they had a mandate that they need to go and look for structures, go into the structures, and find whatever they can and bring it back. That was one of the mandates that they got, wasn't it?
Pretty much.
That's what I heard. And I think the original guys really got a fright. But the new astronauts are better briefed, I think.
Oh, yeah, and they
know what they're getting into.
Well, you can imagine, too, at some point, let's say I was an astronaut way before you were. Let's say you became an astronaut, and we're good friends. I'm going to pass this along to you, and I'm going to say, shh, keep it under the cuff. Don't say a word about it. Okay, I'll do that. So you know this goes down the line to these guys, especially if they're seasoned astronauts. In other words, they put their flight time in regular. Maybe they were pilots at one time, and they became like a lot of these astronauts today. They were either pilots some were pilots, and they worked their way up, and they became astronauts and so on and so forth. So good friends, they're going to share this information amongst themselves. So, but like I said, when I hear, there was a conference where I had, I'll never forget the face on Buzz, when Trump was talking, he was standing behind him. Oh yes, we got to go back to the moon because of this, that, and the other. And he's making these weird faces behind his back, and I'm going, what is going on with Buzz right now? He just looked incredibly weird. And it was nothing like he was during the press conference, although they were, like I said, they seemed like they were completely preoccupied and want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I did see that. He looked slightly uncomfortable.
Like he wasn't himself. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like he's on some kind of medications or some shit. I don't know. And it wouldn't. And I'm not saying it in a mean way. I'm saying that maybe after what they saw was traumatic. I don't know, because I don't think these guys ever were normal after that. You see what happened to them? They all went into hiding. Again, if it was only a moonwalk, you'd think they'd be out just talking about it left and right. Oh yeah, we did this, and you wouldn't believe what we saw, and it was great. And no, it was totally opposite. When these guys came back, they were asked questions, and they didn't want to be bothered. They were like, oh my God, they're literally flailing and putting their head back, like, oh my God. They just wanted out of that room so bad. You could just sense it. And yet, I don't know. And all these guys, like I said, they all went like antisocial. Very few of them were out and about. They went in hiding, and that was the end of it for the longest time. Why would anybody do that? If it was the biggest step for mankind, the most exciting thing that man has ever done, yet these guys said, I'm out. They just hid. I don't know.
Chris, wasn't it William Tompkins that also testified that he was in the radio room as a technician when they went over to a secure channel, and he heard them say that these guys are surrounding them on the crater's edge?
Said they're watching us.
Yes.
Yep.
So that's also very interesting.
Well, it's that and the, they said, well, these guys are really watching us, and they're in large ships. They're right on the crater wall watching us. I mean, they were on the rim, exactly, they were saying. So, and it was, remember that way back in the day when they had Walter Cronkite on, and he literally looks at while they're doing the live feed, and he goes, wow, that actually looked like a structure. Boom, immediately went to a commercial. Like, wow. So, it's like these little tidbits of information come out. Clearly they were hiding something, because I remember seeing that. There's a video on there. I forget what it's called. Oh, man. It was basically the EVA they were doing, but you can literally see them pan to the right, and it looks like this giant, like, rectangular white block, and they hurry up and pan back to the lander and the astronauts. I seen that with my own eyes, and it's right there in the video.
And on the way to the moon too, they commented about Santa Claus.
Yeah. Code words.
That's outside the ship.
Yep. Yeah, we've seen Santa Claus is coming. He said something like, Santa Claus is on his way. Yeah, okay. I wonder what they're talking about there.
I see Sarah Mitchell says, sorry, Jean, to burst the bubble about the tweet, but I do have some information forthcoming that's even creepier in my thesis. That's very creepy, Ari Antarctica. Sorry to burst your bubble, my friend. Okay, what information is this, Sarah?
I think she's referring to Buzz.
Yes.
Because, a lot of things they said that he said and he didn't. And then there's some things he did say, because clearly it was like on that newscast and stuff like that about that megalithic structure on the moon. I think it was it on Phobos? And he said, wait until they see that. They're going to say, who put that darn thing there? So there's a lot of things he did say, and then some things, was probably drummed up or made up or whatever it was. Because I never heard it come out of his mouth, because he did say, supposedly he went to Antarctica, which I believe he did. And then he claimed he was sick there and everything else. I don't know if you guys heard that, but said he got sick there and everything else. And but I never heard him actually say, "Yeah, I went there and I was sick." So was this drummed up or was this actually said by him? That's what you got to research and find out for yourself, right?
Yep.
Sarah saying it right now. John Ward, Neil Armstrong moon quote. They are on the rim watching us. I can't even describe the size. I heard the transmission. That is why we went not for the rocks. Exactly. And I've been saying this for a long time. Like I said, they went for the rocks, but that's a PR move. Because they got to go up there and say, well, we're bringing back these rocks and we want to see how old some of these rocks are on the moon and everything else. But like I said, who's to say they can't hide two different briefcases? One is for the rocks and the other one they left on the capsule so that when they bring out this one case, well, there's the rocks. Okay, you guys go into isolation for a while, whatever, sanitize you, whatever you got to do. Okay, oh, here's the rocks. That's interesting. And in the meantime, after all the videos and feeds, stop, then when they get the stuff that they really took from the moon, different parts of these crafts, or maybe pieces of steel, whatever it might have been, they might have taken this stuff and, that was the real actual, mission. That wasn't the rocks. Come on now. How many times you got to go to the darn moon? How many missions they do? Think about it. How many times you got to go to the moon to pick up more rocks and dust? And come on.
Sarah says Buzz had heart issues. They didn't have the facilities to treat him. I do recall that as well.
Yeah. Yep. That's true.
Interesting. Chris, I need to knock off in
I was
about...
going to say, you got to... Yeah, we're gonna call it quits in about another few minutes, so... Because it's late where he's at. Yeah, it's what? Almost 1:30 at your time, so yeah.
Yeah, in the morning, yeah.
Tony Gibbs, they said they... Yeah. They said they did bring back rocks, but the recorded weight was 800 pounds. That's a lot of rocks. Yeah, and it's supposed to be in this little briefcase. Remember that? It's supposed to be in just a little silver case. Yeah. I am reporting only what was told to me. None of the information is my own. That's what she's saying. Sarah is saying.
From what I understand, she's busy with a thesis.
Yeah.
It would be interesting if she's done, if she could publish it.
Well, she's almost done with it. That's why I said I'll release it to everybody here, and I already know the link. But what I'll do is when it's completely done, like I said, very well done up. If anybody's into Antarctica and the crazy stuff that's being hidden there, you'll love this when it's done because, like I said, I read it and I was like, wow. And it was incomplete at the time, but man, like I said, it was very researched, very well laid out, researched, a lot of information. She's put some annotations on there so everybody can see, what she's talking about and some real zoomed in parts of it. Really awesome. So when she's done with that, she'll give me the heads up, and I'll pass it along to you guys. So, awesome. But anyway, guys, we are going to jump off of this. As always, thank you, Jean, for being on here. We do appreciate your time.
Thanks, Chris. Anytime.
Yeah, I mean, I like having you on because it's like gives a different perspective. You might have different views from me, and that's what I like. It's not all about me. It's about these guys, too. Everybody's sharing different information, so that's awesome. So, again, I appreciate your time being here. So you can jump off anytime. Thank you for being on, and I'm going to do the same as well. We're going to get out of here. If I didn't get to everybody's question, my apologies. You can always drop the questions in, when this video is posted to YouTube, and we'll get back to it. So thank you, everybody, for your support, your conversations, as always. We do appreciate you. And like I said, wait until that second part of this video comes out. This is awesome. And like I said, John had first, I gave him a little sneak preview of this thing, and he was blown away. So I think you guys are going to really love this when it's coming out. I'm going to try to get it out. I'm going to try to do it for the weekend, either Sunday or latest Monday, and you guys will be blown away, so get ready for that. Anyway, guys, thanks for everybody being here. We do appreciate you. Everybody have yourself a good weekend, and stay safe there, right?
Thanks to Chris and everyone in the chat. Much appreciated.